Daddy, salam alaikum.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. خدد ألكي ورضا نفسي وسنة عرشي ومداد كلماتي. خدد ألكي ورضا نفسي وسنة عرشي ومداد كلماتي. الحمد لله على كل حال. الحمد لله بعد كل حال. الحمد لله قبل كل حال. الحمد لله رب العالمين. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد نبيا ورسولا وبالقرآن إماما ودليلا. adúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run, aṣèyìn fún Ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We give thanks to Almighty Allah, the omnipotent, the merciful, the Lord of the day of accountability. We thank Allah for giving us the grace to assemble here today on this platform to discuss challenges of life, meaning Islamic perspective and coping. May Almighty Allah in infinite mercy continue to strengthen each and every one of us, increases us in knowledge, and help us to discharge our duty as Muslim human accordingly, inshallah. Adúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run, a kí àwọn ìyá wa Albarika, the former women leader Nasrullah Al-Fati, tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀, kí Ọlọ́run jọ̀ọ́, Ọlọ́run má pa Nasfat láíláí. Ọlọ́run má pa Nasfat láíláí. Ọlọ́run já máa dàgbà sí lẹ́mìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ látọ̀rí president wa dé ọ̀dọ̀ chief missioner wa Sheikh Marufudin Oníkẹ́, kí Ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fún wọn. Dé gbogbo àwọn executive, àwọn BOT wa, àwọn council of elders wa, Ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fún wọn. Àwọn kí àwọn alájà wa, ìyá olóríire, ìyá Albarika, Alhaja Nafisat Abíọ́lá Arugundade, kí Ọlọ́run bá kí yín, àfitọ́lọ́run kí yín, àfitànábì kí yín, gbogbo ìgbà ní wàhálà ọmọ ipò, gbogbo àtà bá ti pè ní dá wa lóhùn, gbogbo àtà bá nídìí Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kọ́lọ̀ máa jẹ yín. Ọlọ́run la hawla wala quwwata. Ìkàkùn ò ní ṣàlàáfíà yín o. Ọlọ́run ẹ pẹ́ fún wa lábídí Ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bákan náà, kí ìyá wa Bilkis Savage láti UK lọ́hùn. Ẹ bá sálámọ̀ sí ara lé. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Náà kí ni ẹ ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa. Kí Ọlọ́run bá dúró tì yín, gbogbo àtà bá ń pè yín náà lẹ́ ń dá wa lóhùn. Ọlọ́run pẹ̀tẹ́ bá nídìí Ọlọ́run jẹ́ máa rí Ọlọ́run pé Ọlọ́run. Bákan náà, a kí ìyá wa láti Pay Region láti Canada, ìyá wa Rashida Akéwùṣọlá, kí Ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fẹ́yìn náà, Ọlọ́run bá dúró tì yín lára àmàmì inshallah wa rafa'nahu makana aliyya. Inshallah a lọ síbi ètò alẹ́ ní òní pé àwọn challenges tí a ń fèsì nígbésí ayé wa, kí ni ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ gangan, láwọn challenges ọ̀hún náà, kí ni Islam sọ lórí ẹ̀, báwo la ṣe cope lórí ẹ̀, báwo la ṣe wá ìrànlọ́wọ́ látọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run àti tọ́lọ́run ṣe yọ wá lórí gbogbo nǹkan tí ó ń ṣe wá. Kọ́lọ́run jọ̀ọ́, Kọ́lọ́run wò gbogbo tá a sọ lé ní Kọ́lọ́run bá gbà nírọ̀rùn. Ọlọ́run la hawla wala quwwata illa billahi a ó kọ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn ìyá wa Arugundade, inshallah. Wípé mama, what is the meaning of challenges of life? Kí la lè pè ní challenges of life gangan? Bismillah.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. I will thank Almighty Allah for this day and making it possible for us to be Muslims. Challenges of life, they are just part of tests and trials of life. Challenges of life is something that happens to one, and you need I would say extra power, great mental or physical efforts to overcome it in order to do it successfully. It comes in various forms. We have people are facing hardship. You have tribulation. We have losses. Loss of the loved ones, of friendship, of trade, of business. Whatever form it comes, and the challenges could be personal. We are looking at challenges of life. It could be personal, it could be global, like we have with coronavirus. That is a global, it's a pandemic, and it's a challenge to the whole world. It's just something that needs extra effort, to overcome it, to get out of it. And Allah has promised us that He will always try those that He loves. So challenges is it comes in different forms, as mentioned. It could be uh, you know, for you to just start your brain to get something. It could be challenge to your health, to your finances. It's problem. It's about problem. It's about hardship. It's about adversity. It's about trials. It's about tribulation. It's about losses. So that is, and it's part of this sort of life. It makes in the end you have a positive thinking, and one can be able to come out stronger, better, wiser, and it's part of spices of life generally. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa ẹ bá a ṣe ní ṣókí ní yẹn náà la fẹ́ lé ní inshallah torí àsìkò alhamdulillah. A lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn ẹ̀yà wa kí ó ṣọlá inshallah pé why this life is full of challenges. Kí ló jẹ́ pé gbogbo ìgbésí ayé a kàn máa kú sínú kan a tún máa bọ́ sínú kan náà ni. Kí ló yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀? Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala Muhammadur Rasulullah. Alhamdulillah. We give glory, we give honor, we give thanks to Almighty Allah. It is not by our power, never by our might that we are here again today. We planned that we'll be here. Unfortunately, we're able to make it. It's not by our effort. It's by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May we continue to enjoy His mercy. May we continue to enjoy His grace. May we continue to enjoy His protection in every areas of our lives. Call our Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Call our Bishrali Sodri. Wayeswele Amore. Wa'ulala Tidatami Lisani. Yefko Koli. Majalwa Ahi. Mashidubi Asri. Kano Sabia Kathiran. Wanoskruka Kathira. Inoka Kunta Bino Basira. Kola Koditita. Sula Yamasa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our tax and make everything that we'll be discussing here today be beneficial to us on earth and after. Bijahi Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So if I'm not mistaken, the question posed before me is, why is life full of challenges?
No.
Yeah, life will be full of challenges because, as my mother said earlier on, she said, challenges are trials, tribulations, hardships, all sorts of things that, requires us to exert extra effort, both physical, mental, to be able to accomplish whatever we want to. Yeah, so it's a natural phenomenon. It's a process of life. It is normal. It is not out of order. It is not an alien situation. It is what everybody should expect. It is what everybody should think about. It is a normal process of life. So that is why life is full of challenges. Without challenges, we cannot grow. Without challenges, we cannot get things done. Without challenges, we can't have history of experiences. We cannot deal with something head on. So it's natural. It's part of human life. It's part of human experiences. That is why life is full of challenges. When we face these challenges, when we face these difficulties, we come out stronger, we come out wiser. then we have a wealth of knowledge under our sleeve in that area of difficulties that we dealt with. So without challenges, there is no meaningful life. So challenges makes life interesting, and the way we deal with it makes life meaningful. The problems we face as human beings is that we want a life without challenges. We want a life without difficulties. We want a life on a bed of roses, which is not possible. We can't achieve anything without challenges. There are numerous types of challenges. It can be, from minute one to a very big one. It depends on how you deal with it that will either make or mar you. Challenges will either take you, move you from your God or move you closer to Him. If you have challenges and you run away from it, you're not going to make ends meet. You're not going to learn from it. You're not going to derive anything from it. But when challenges arises, you deal with it, you face it, you come out stronger, you come out wiser. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran 2, from verses 155 to 157, if I am not mistaken, that we will be tested with everything that we have, our wealth, our money, our siblings, our children, everything. Life is a trial. So we will be tried. So if we have this at the back of our mind, then we know that challenges is part of life. When challenges arises, we should not see it as something out of order. We should not see it as bóyá ìyá ilé ọ̀kan kan ló ń ṣe wá, àbí màmá ilé ọ̀kan kan ló ń dà wá láàmú. We should see that there is something that Allah wants us to learn. There's something that Allah wants us to derive from that situation. So if we shy away from it, we are not going to derive that thing. So the big difference in challenges is how individual deals with the situation. So don't be the one that will shy away from your challenges. Don't be the one that will run away from your hardship. Don't be the one that will run away from your difficult moment. Be the one that will take the bull by the horn, that will face the challenges squarely, and then you will come out bolder, stronger, wiser, and then you have a wealth of knowledge under your sleeve. Kí Ọlọ́run kó má jẹ́ ká pé sínú ìdojúkọ wa, kó jẹ́ ká kúrò níbẹ̀ victoriously, ká lè máa dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run pé yes, ó kà wá yẹ.
Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah, ya wá sọ pé ó di dandan kí a máa fèsì challenge torí pé Ọlọ́run bá sọ nínú Quran náà ni pé bada a'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ọlọ́run ní walanabluwannakum bi shay'in minal khawfi wal ju'i wan naqsin min amwali wath thamarati wasabiril mu'minin. Ó ní wa isa asabatun ó ní qalu inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Tí àwọn ìyá wa sọ yìí náà Ọlọ́run bá dúró tì wọ́n pé a ní wà láyé kí a má rí challenges kí tiwa má bá wa nìkan àbí kejì nínú pé kí ni kébi pa wá ni àbí pé kí ni kí nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ síyàn àbí kéèyàn sí business kó lọ àbí kéèyàn máa wá nǹkan kó má rí. Ọlọ́run wá sọ pé ẹ mọ̀ ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ lè ti wá ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run náà láti àṣekìní á padà sí, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ fún ní sùúrù ní ròdùnú tí àwọn ìyá wa bá wa sọ nìyẹn. Kí Ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fún ìyá wa Akeosola inshallah àti àwọn ìyá wa Arogundade. Báyìí á lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyá wa Alájà wa Savage inshallah. Ìpè challenges of life yìí ǹjẹ́ lè sọ àwọn challenges of life tá a lè face tí a máa ń face ní life wa. Kẹ́kàn bá wa sọ inú àwọn challenges of life wo la ń face nínú ìgbésí ayé wa.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. A dúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run ọba àjọkẹ́ ayé àṣàmì pé being Friday ká tó wá gbójú ṣe ètò yìí. it's powerful to say our challenges will a man face. Torí pé lára challenges a man face àti face ẹ̀ka tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ program yìí. But
Naam.
Ọlọ́run gbà fún wa.
Alhamdulillah.
Nítorí pé ìrírí ayé náà nìyẹn. Man proposes, God answers to it. Allah is all-knowing. Life in itself is a test. Everything we do is a test. And as Allah says in the Quran, in Quran 29 verse 3, difficult times are decisive and frustrating. They show us who are truthful and who are not. Nígbà ìṣòro ló máa mọ ẹni tó nífẹ̀ẹ́, nígbà ìṣòro ló máa mọ family, ìgbà ìṣòro ló máa mọ ọ̀rẹ́, ìgbà ìṣòro ló máa rí ìrírí ayé. And each one of us will go through one test challenge in life. Like báwọn màmá wa àti sister wa ṣe sọ, whether it's financial loss, it could be physical, it could be health, it could be emotional. Because if you're emotionally challenged, that's a test of life. For our time we abroad, even Nigeria these days, Nigeria life is challenged. But for our time we abroad, we have so many challenges. For Coco Bejulo, Bubu Agbaye, be it in America, Canada, London, Europe. Most of the challenge we face is challenge of having a settled status. So, but in the paper that I put really ayé gbé ni. Bó ṣe rí nìyẹn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Ọlọ́run ò kákú bẹ́ẹ̀ torí gbogbo nǹkan láyé yìí, in Quran 94, I'm not sure, with every difficulty there is, Ọlọ́run ló máa test wa, ṣùgbọ́n inú ìlera ìrọ̀rùn náà ṣì ń bọ̀. But our time abroad, the first thing we face most of the time, even tó bá win lottery, tó bá lọ ní lottery, tó bá dá America, wàá ṣì ní challenge bó ṣe máa settle into the community. You have the challenge of actually settling within the community. You have to go through learning the process, understanding the process, and being able to settle into the community. So challenges oríṣiríṣi, because life in itself is a test. Challenges ní gbogbo àgbáyé at the moment, báwọn màmá ṣe sọ, pandemic from last year is a challenge to all of us. And as a result of pandemic, a lot of things have happened. So many people have lost family, loved ones. A fi àsìkò yìí rántí wọn pé kọ́ lọ́ọ́ bá wa tẹ̀lé fáwọn tó ti lọ, àwọn tó ń sìn kọ́ lọ́ọ́ bá wa ṣàlàáfíà fún wọn. Àwọn tó pọ̀ dẹ̀ torí ẹ̀ náà àmọ́ bóyá kò bá pọ̀ dé kọ́ lọ́ọ́ ṣe ṣìfà fún wọn. Pandemic has tested everybody. People have lost family, they've lost friends, they've lost colleagues. Some people have lost their livelihood because overnight, those who are self-employed, they've lost their job overnight. That's been a big challenge of life because from nowhere, some people have become homeless. Some people have become homeless. Ìrírí ayé wá nìyẹn kí wá lọ́lọ́run sọ fún wa pé tó bá tàdánwò bá dé torí pé for me personally pandemic is a big one. It's been a challenge. Whether you're Muslim or Christian, Allah tests us the same way. But as a Muslim, the Islamic view is we have to hold on to the rope of Allah because Allah promised us it will be tested. And pandemic, when it came, and we were not able to go to the mosque, we're not able to go to Umrah, we're not able to go to Hajj, we're still being reminded to pray and be steadfast in the 5 pillars of Islam. Be a Muslim in every way. The onus of Allah, praying, was the most important thing. Because as a Muslim, it was still very important for us to hold on to the test of our faith, being prayerful, being patient with Allah, being religious and remembering the oneness of Allah. Throughout Ramadan this year, we were able to fast and we were able to continue maintaining our faith. So when it comes to challenges, it could be the health, it could be emotional, It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be financial. The biggest one is always financial, because people always feel the way life is these days, life we live today, the life of, I would say, vanity, that everything is, I want to have the biggest mansion, I want to have the biggest house, vanity. And some of that makes people to forget Allah, that we're nothing but 6 feet. And that's why we have to remember Allah in everything we do. In fact, everything we have, be it money, children, àdánwò ni, because Ọlọ́run fẹ́ mọ̀ pé ṣé tó bá ní ṣó máa súnmọ́ òun. Ibi tí challenge wà fẹ́ lómi nẹ̀ pé tẹ́lẹ̀ bá ti lówó báyìí wọ́n máa gbàgbé Ọlọ́run, wọn ò rántí Ọlọ́run mọ́. So Ọlọ́run á wá dẹ́lòmíì wò, á fi bó ṣe máa súnmọ́ òun. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ̀dẹ̀rẹ̀ àìlówó ò ní kéèyàn má súnmọ́ Ọlọ́run. So when it comes to challenges, it comes in various ways. The Islamic view of challenge is your test of faith, how strong you are, how strong do you hold the rope of Allah, how believing you are. Are you a believing Muslim? Just because you don't have today doesn't mean you're not going to have tomorrow. Allah said, as I said in Quran 94, behind any difficulty there will be ease. Especially the situation we face abroad now. It's very difficult. It has been difficult with global politics for most people in diaspora. It has been difficult for our people in Nigeria. And everybody is going through challenges of COVID. But dédé ibẹ̀ ni pé kí ni ìgbàgbọ́ wa, ṣá dúró dédé, ṣá mọ Ọlọ́run, ṣá ṣe dédé, ṣá ṣe dáadáa, ṣá ṣe kírun wa, ṣá hùwà dáadáa. Torí pé ètò jùlọ nìyẹn. Kì í ṣe ilé ta ní, torí pé mo ti wá lówó lénìí. Tó bá lówó lénìí ìyẹn ò mí pé o lè lówó títí ọjọ́ ayé. Àdánwò lè dé tó máa gbó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Àdánwò lè dé tó lè gbó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. We've seen it in pandemic. And this is why we have to remember and reflect on what we do, how we do things, and remember that we are nothing but through the Almighty Allah. May Allah continue to guide us in our ways. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wọ́n yà á jẹ́ kó yé wa pé nínú submission wọn pé innama al-yusri yusra fa innama al-yusri yusra. Pé gbogbo ohun tí a bá ń fèsì láyé yóò padà wá rọ̀ ni o. Kò sí ní tó le tí ò ní ṣe kíni tí ò ní padà wá rọ̀. Pé ká má rò pé challenges ẹnìkan àbí ẹnìkan ò ní challenges ó yàtọ̀tọ̀ síra wọn ni. Kí Ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fún ìyàwó Bilki Savage inshallah. Máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyàwó Arógundádé torí pé àwọn ìyàwó àgbàlagbà náà ni wọ́n lè bá wa down question yìí pé Mama, we want you to share your views on loss as a life challenge, causes and possible coping strategies. Torí pé wọ́n ní ntí tójú àgbà tá sọ pé ojú àgbà jìn tójú àgbà ti rí ni. Ntí inú àgbà dẹ̀ ti gbọ́. Pé ẹ wá fi ṣàwa náà láǹfààní màmá kí ni view yín lórí loss as a life challenge. Ó lè jẹ́ nǹkan kan míì, ó lè jẹ́ báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe. The causes and possible coping strategies. Tẹ́ fi lò. Bismillah mama.
Just as mentioned by other speakers, my sisters in Islam, Ajia Kewushola and Alaja Balikis, Savage, we all know that trials, Allah said, I will try my people. We want to know how strong you are. Loss is just like a test. You are training some students, you have students in class, to move some higher above others, we still have to do examination for them. And that is a trial for them. It's a test for them. Loss is also a test for us as persons, as human beings. Allah will test us with some loss of your loved ones. with test of what you cherish most. Loss of business, some lost their homes, different type of losses are bounds all around. But how do you take it? What are the values you attach so much to these things? When Allah said everything belongs to Him, all you could do is, yes, we have to accept. When it comes, anything that happens to you that you don't have control over, you have to give total submission to the will of Allah. That is the only solution. Run to Him. Yes, it's a test. And you just know that at this moment, give me the courage to bear this loss. It is not a time that you now try to, doing blaming game, and some will, I would have done it this way. Maybe this Imam should have prayed. Even all our prophets, the prophets of Allah, those that are very dear to Him, they were really tried. They have their losses. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam lost how many of his children? He even lost one on the day of Eid. So that is enough for us to know that, yes, Allah said, those that I love most, I will give you more trial. And how do you now? All these things is just to make us to turn back to Allah. It is not a period that I now feel, why me? If it's because of a business, yes, you can make a better plan. You can make plan, take ownership of your problem. What are the things that, have some mindset. How can I rebuild this business? What is the love of the loved person? You cannot bring back the life again. All you need to do is accept the will of Allah. Know that there are some that never even have children. I knew someone, my mother, not I knew, I heard from my mother. One of our aunties was so desperate to have a child and said, Ọlọ́run, àní bímọ láàárọ̀ kò kú lálẹ́. Káyé mọ̀ pé mi ò ṣọkùnrin. Just for you want to know that I'm not a man. Just even bless my womb to have a baby in the morning. And if the baby dies in that, yes, you have shown the whole world that, yes, I'm a woman. But at the end of the day, yes, Allah answered his prayer. And it was the same way she had prayed for it. So in desperation, she was feeling the loss of, that's her mother. I want to be a mother too. But the way she prayed and really sighed for it was wrong. So whenever anything happened to us that we felt this is much, someone say, yes, something like this should not have happened to a person like you. Then I wonder who you are compared to all the prophets of Allah that have been tried in the past. So Allah try you so that you can run back to Him. To padà láti mọ̀ sí, láti sísí. And lára nǹkan tó promise wa ni pé pẹ̀lú gbogbo losses rẹ̀ ó ń purify yín ni. Nǹkan tó máa jù wá lọ náà má fi dún pa wọ̀ wá. We all continue praying, we want it. We are not the prophets. We do not have the strength of the prophets. But at the same time, when it happens, all we could do is to accept the will of Almighty Allah, run back to Allah with patience. The coping strategy is that don't blame anything you don't have control over. Accept it that Allah has, in His mightiness, has done it. Just like you as a teacher, we give tests to your students. Allah will test us and know how deep is your belief. And the coping strategy is that with patience and prayer, Allah will now soften your mind. Allah will give you peace. And when you have peace, you have to move on depending on what has happened to you. Is it loss of business? Do I rethink? How do I rebuild my business? Do I diversify the business and move away from the one I'm doing? What do we do? If something that requires relocation, do I move by migrate? Just as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did with Hijrah. You have to do Hijrah. All we need to do at this moment is have a positive mindset. Try to check yourself. Depending on the loss, we have said it could be loss of business, it could be loss of my loved ones, it could be, problem even with your health. There are different type of losses that people have. It could be building over you, like in my Nigeria, when you build in the wrong place and it is demolished, or fire gutted what you have, your entire belongings. Is that the end of life? No.
Mm.
With prayer and patience, Allah will rebuild you. It's a trial of faith. And we pray Allah will not let us fail. As much as we are praying that we don't want any trial, but Allah has also promised us that we will not test you with what is more than a burden that you cannot bear. So know that what you have been tested with is what Allah believes you have the strength to bear. Because I promise that I will not try you with, and then we'll continue praying. Don't try us with any trial that our strength will not be able to sustain. But what is important is pé Ọlọ́run lè máa sábà padà náà lọ́ba tó bá jẹ́ business ni. Kí ni nǹkan tí mo tún lè ṣe? Someone approached me the other day and was talking. I have prayed and prayed, and gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ wa ò lójútùú. Ọkọ àti ìyàwó. We know we are not finding headway, and we are graduates. If you are graduates, what are you doing? These days, you all know that we don't have sufficient unemployment is a global problem, not a problem of any nation. None is having it so good when it comes to job, and it's even worsened with the global pandemic of coronavirus. The situation has gotten worse. What can I do? You have to look at the situation. What is the future of work in the whole world? Where do I fit in? Ṣé mo kí lọ ṣe course mi ni? Do I go in for another course? What is the strength? Okay, I want to go into entrepreneurship. What can I do? No, these people are not making move. Okay, search the internet. Kí tẹ̀ ni wọ́n kí láyé ń fẹ́ nísìn. As much as you are saying things are not good, this is the time safety and health are selling. Those people in the medical and paramedics are having the good day. So what can I do to fit into those areas that people still require their services? The work is being done remotely from home now. Am I good in digital knowledge? Can I use the computer? Can I connect? How can I search? All this we can just improve ourselves and find a way of moving on. But what is most important is try to evaluate the situation. What has happened? How can I do it better? Or what other way? What is the approach? Because failure is a must in everybody's life. When you fail, not one, not twice. So it's just build you and build your strength, just like my sisters have stressed, and I mentioned and stressed earlier on. It's just for us to improve us, to be a better person. And the strategy is total submission to the will of Allah. That this one I don't have control over it. Allah has just paid his mightiness on me. Yes, subdue yourself, ask for his favor. All we need is you have to be patient. You need some perseverance, to know that, yes. And when you have problems, it helps you to build resilience. You have, building strength, build new strength on how to overcome all these things. Those are the important things. But it's not a matter of, have I had done this way? If I had not want to try, you would have been able to think of that other way that you thought. If I had done it this way, it could have been another thing. And I should have taken this healing child to so place. I should have done this. No, that is if Allah did not want it to happen. But if Allah said that is the trial, that's the way I'm going to try him. All we need to do as Muslim, submit to the will of Allah. Patience is continue emphasizing patience. Patience is very important. And then with that, Allah can have mercy upon us. Seek the mercy of Allah on any new move you are going to make, especially with that to things that you can correct. Life loss of a loved one, nothing you can do. It could be a loss of relationship. It could be a loss of love, husband and wife losing your husband to another person, or your husband walked away, divorce or something. Nobody wants such. All those things, if it comes, the divorce, we could still come back again. You can remarry. And then this time around, what are the mistakes I've made in my choice of spouse? In the first instance, they can break that into, into strategies of surviving it. But all that matters is if you need support, please speak out. Don't ask for support. Let people help you. You can seek help from people. When it comes to business, you can ask for mentorship. Get some people that, yes, you see succeeding in this line. Will they give me any assistance? Will I be able to that? Whether that person is junior to you or senior to you, she's succeeding. No, then we can move closer to such and learn one or few things. But what is important is Allah wants us to be patient in any circumstances we find ourselves. May Allah make it easy for us. Thank you, friend.
Àmì adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa tí wọ́n sọ coping strategies fún àwọn life challenges wa kí Ọlọ́run bá dúró tì wọ́n ọláògbé ọlá wọn ṣe oríṣiríṣi tí a lè ṣe as a strategies in coping in our life challenges kí Ọlọ́run bá ṣàánú wa. Ìyá wa Akínṣọlá coping strategy làwọn ìyá wa sọ yìí. Kí wá ní Islam gan sọ gan pàápàá looking at the Islam in its entirety pé kí ni loss as a life challenge, how do we cope in a situation like that? Kí ni Islam ní ká ṣe?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We are blessed to be Muslims, and we are blessed to realize that challenges are part of life. We cannot shy away from it. We cannot do without it. It makes us, it progresses us. So first and foremost, Islam teaches us that Allah is the giver of strength to survive, and that happiness, sorrow, grief, life, death, name it, all are derived from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he knows before it happens, and he gave guidance on how to deal with it when it happens. Only if you don't want to follow through, only if you want to be on your own. That is when life challenges will be a whirlwind that will sweep you away. But if you accept the will of God and you base your foundation of everything you do, on the premises that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one in all, is the omnipotent, omnipresent, then you'll be able to face those challenges squarely, and you will come out victoriously, gallantly. When losses happen, which are bound to happen, so as my mom rightly said, that there are different types of losses. Yes, there are numerous types of losses that we cannot even mention all of them. But the most important thing is challenges are challenges, difficulties are difficulties. At a point in time, at a stage in life, you will face it. So if you have loss of job, loss of loved one, loss of partner, loss of financial difficulties and stuff like that, you can grieve. It's okay to grieve. But when you are grieving, you should be cautious of how you do it. When you lose somebody, you can shed tears, but you cannot wail. You can't sọ pé, ẹ wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní pariwo, ẹ wá ń yaṣọ, ẹ wá ń gbára sílẹ̀, ẹ wá ń ṣe oríṣiríṣi. Yes, then those are excessive. Èèyàn ti ṣe púpọ̀ jù, èèyàn ti kọjá ẹ̀kọ́ tọ́lọ́run fẹ́ pé ká ṣe, because loss sometimes is inevitable. So when it happens, ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ìwọ̀ntúnwọ̀nsì bọ́lọ́run ṣe kọ́ wa, bọ́lọ́run ṣe sọ fún wa. In the Quran, ó sọ pé òun máa test wa. So though they come at unexpected times, they come when we don't even think of it or when we don't want it. But when it happens, we should know that Allah has said so. Life is not a bed of roses. Has said so that I will try you, I will test you. So tabati ṣe ẹran ara yẹn díẹ̀, ká tún tètè padà pé ó yí Ọlọ́run, tí ó fi rí bó ṣe rí, bọ́lọ́run ṣe fẹ́ nìyẹn. As my sister said earlier on, that man proposes, is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that disposes our affairs. So he does what he wants at his will. And then, so gbogbo àwọn nǹkan yẹn ó yẹ kó jẹ́ guide fún wa láti lè mọ, bá ṣe máa react sí situation tí tó bá kàn wá, so that a tún ní jẹ̀bi lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Yes, so they said to be forewarned is to be forearmed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tried all his prophets. And then one thing that we want us to realize is that the faithful you are, or the stronger you are in your faith, the likelihood of the difficulties you will experience. So if you are in a position that, bó ṣe ń bọ́ kúrò nínú ìkan ló tún ń bọ́ sínú ìkan, yes, it may have purpose. It may be that Allah is using all those situations to expiate some of your sins, and then you will never get out of those situations until tọ́lọ́run bá rí pé gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yẹn ó ti kúrò, òun ti fọ̀ ẹ́, ó ti mọ́. So why are we now, bara jẹ́ pé nǹkan yẹn ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tá tún máa dá ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ sára wa lọ́rùn? So let us, be cautious when we are grieving, or when something, when difficulties ensues. So think about it, then realize that it's for a purpose, because Allah will never say something and will never come to pass at a point in time. So learn to be cautious and learn to be prudent in our ways of life in dealing with difficult situations. In Quran 13, verse 27 to 28, the unbelievers say, why is not a sign set out to him from his Lord? Say truly, Allah liveth to stray those whom he wills, and guideth to himself those who turn to him. So therefore, what are we talking about? Kí ni nǹkan tá à ń dààmú fún? Kí ni nǹkan tá à ń wàhálà fún? So jẹ́ ká gbà pé gbogbo nǹkan tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀, when you search yourself to the mọ̀ pé, you know what, nǹkan àárín ìwà àtọlọ́run ẹ̀ ó wà okay, then you should know that if anything happens, at the end of the day, it will have a purpose. So the purpose yẹn ni k'Ọlọ́run kó jẹ́ kí ó wà beneficial fún gbogbo ẹni tó bá ń dojúkọ ìgbéníjà kan tàbí ìkejì. So k'Ọlọ́run nínú àánú ẹ̀ kó ṣàánú wa, kó má fi nǹkan tó máa ju agbára wa lọ, kó má fi kàn wá, kó má dà sí lágbádá. Thank you so much.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbi, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ìyá wa. Ní tí wọ́n bá a sọ náà ní tí Islam náà bá a sọ ní pé ista'inu bis-sabri was-salat. Ìgbé tá a bá rí gbogbo ìpèníjà tí ó bá dojú kọ wá, ní tá a kọ́kọ́ ṣe ní pé ká ṣe sùúrù. Ó ní Ọlọ́run ní ká kọ́kọ́ ṣe sùúrù náà. Ká tó wá solution sí pẹ̀lú àdúrà pẹ̀lú run kíkí. Ìgbé sùúrù ni a kọ́kọ́ ṣe. Gbogbo nǹkan tó bá wù kí ó dojú kọ wá, Ọlọ́run tẹ́ ti bá a sọ náà ní pé tí nǹkan kan bá tún ṣe wá náà, ká dá padà sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ni. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Nígbà tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo nǹkan tá a ní láì pátápátá àwa kọ́ la ní, Ọlọ́run náà ni ó ní. Ọlọ́run ti sọ fún wa pé ẹ fún ní sùúrù, ẹ fún ní ròdùnú, ẹ fún ní sùúrù, ẹ fún ní ròdùnú. Ẹ tó bá ní sùúrù láyé, gbogbo ohun tó lọ yóò padà wá bá ọ. Jáwọ́ Ànábì wa Ayub alayhi salatu wassalam. Ànábì wa Ayub náà face tribulation, ó face challenges. So nígbà tó ké pe Ọlọ́run, àwọn tó kù yìí náà tó fẹ́ gbà ni, Ọlọ́run ló ti ké pè mí, Ọlọ́run tún dá gbogbo àdálọ ẹ̀, àkólọ ẹ̀ ó dá padà fún. Òun làwọn ìyá wa ń sọ fún wa kí Ọlọ́run jọ, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí àwa náà lè face challenges of life, inshallah. Eléyìí máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyá wa Bilkis Savage, inshallah. Ìkankan máa ń wà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ọmọ wa, when you look at challenges of life, let us look in substance abuse in children. This is very challenging. Substance abuse. Oríṣiríṣi ni wọ́n lè abuse àwọn substances nínú àwọn ọmọ wa. kí lẹ rò pé ó ń kọ́ sí irú nǹkan báyìí challenges náà ló ń jẹ́ fáwọn ọmọ wa torí àwọn ọmọ wa náà ló gbú wa torí pé tí irú nǹkan báyìí máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ fáwọn ọmọ wa ọkàn wọn ò ní balẹ̀ irú nǹkan báyìí kí ni causes effect and kí báwo sá lè prevent irú challenges yìí substance abuse lọ́dọ̀ àwọn ọmọ wa bismillah.
Alhamdulillah, a dúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run.
Alhamdulillah.
Ẹni tó bímọ àdánwò ni, ẹni tí ò dẹ̀ bí náà àdánwò ni. Ọmọ àtọ̀ ni torí pé substance abuse ní gbogbo àgbáyé, when it comes to substance abuse in children, it's the most challenging things you can ever deal with. And children are very vulnerable. They're very vulnerable. They can be tempted. They can be influenced by bad friends, bad family, colleagues, anybody. I always say to my children, you know, the easiest thing, so I've intent on don't listen to your parents, just try it, just try it. And you see a child trying some substance and they're hooked on it. What causes it? A lot of things causes it. It could be through manipulation. It could be they've been abused. They could be abused. Some people abuse children through substance abuse. You know, they could drug them through drugs. And those children get hooked on it. So I don't believe because of boredom, children will try drugs. Some people have said that. For me, it's usually children who are vulnerable, children who have been manipulated, children who have been influenced, children who have been wrongly advised. And they're in the wrong gang. And they just say, okay, let me just try it. One thing leads to the other. And they get hooked on it. And substance abuse it varies from drugs to drinks and many illegal things. The most of it that is terrible is alcohol and drugs. Because alcohol is substance in itself. When you think about it, is illegal in some aspects for Muslim anyway. But these days, the issue of drugs among our youth, among our children, is very prevalent both here in abroad and in Nigeria. And for me, it's very sad for parents to have to deal with it, because once a child gets to that level of using drug, because I'm dealing with many issues like that in the community. Many times and I always say to them, that child needs medical treatment to my detox. Alhamdulillah, the person is doing that. I listened to a case about 3 years ago of a very middle class person actually explaining how he went through drug use while he was younger. This was somebody from a very wealthy middle class, Oyiboni, and they brought him to explain to magistrates how he came out of drugs. And he explained to us, but he came from a very good family. He was in the wrong gang, and he tried it. But because he was hooked on it, he kept going back. Each time to take him to rehab, he would come out. And I think from what he said, he was going in and out of drugs for about 15 good years. The amount of money, time, and the distress it caused his family, and he was explaining that to us. I was almost shaking because I've seen family go through it as well. So when we talk about substance abuse, it is huge, it's very distressing. And yes, we parents can pray. What I will say to us as parents is we have to be extremely vigilant. We have to be extremely vigilant as a parent to know who our children, friends, colleagues are. To keep an eye on our children and not to work 24 hours in a day thinking they are home watching TV, they're fine. Why you are not at home? Who is coming into the house with them? Who are they mixing with? And we must not indulge in spoiling our children, giving them too much money. That is another danger. When they have excess money and they don't know what to do, they will have friends that will influence them. Let's go and try this. Yes, we're Muslim and we're bringing our children to bring up pious children. But when you live both here in Nigeria, in the Western world, there are temptations, and we hope Allah will guide them. So for me, it is a very big issue, and it's reality of what we're faced with, because children now mix. Whether they go to private school or public school, they'll mix. We live in a global village now. They will miss each other. They will see each other, and you don't know. You can keep an eye on your children, but you don't know what the other children are doing. And for me, it is about the health issue. That's the consequence that we need to think about. That's a great effect on children's health. The mental health issue of drugs cannot be quantified. It cannot be quantified. Some children only have to try it once or twice, and it will just confuse their health. It will mess up their health, and that's it. Most of them, because they mix up, they can't hold the job. They can't lobby share. They start stealing. The one I find really difficult is, I've seen again when you're in public life, you see so many cases. Tó bá ti ń go báyìí, ìyá máa bò mọ́lẹ̀, ẹlòmíì á máa bò mọ́lẹ̀. Ó máa tó stage kan kò lè bò mọ́lẹ̀ mọ́. Àdìpọ̀ ó ń jí nǹkan nínú ilé, ó ń lọ tà. A máa gbé nǹkan nínú ilé lọ tà, tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá ti fún lówó mọ́. That's the reality of what we see in court. Ọmọ yẹn gbé, ó gbà tí wọ́n fún lówó mọ́, gbé TV ó lọ tà. Àwọn parents náà ló wá ń report fọlọ́pàá pé ó ti ta nǹkan àwọn. And now he's now faced with, where do we Shama detain Aboma Lole? Both parents said we don't want him in at home, and he was detained. Can you imagine the stress for that parent to come to that situation? And that's why it starts from small, from Obere ní kékeré, tètè mójútó, ó wá di nǹkan látọ̀ di pé ó ti wẹ̀wù sí wọn lára, igbó yẹn ti wẹ̀wù sí wọn lára. Kan tán rà ní £1, á di pé ojoojúmọ́ bí wọ́n ná £300 lórí igbó yẹn. Kò sí bó ṣe lè fọ́ọ̀nù pé kò máa fọ́mọ ní £300. So tọ́mọ bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbó, ẹ láti wá nǹkan ṣe sí, kẹ́ tètè mójútó. They have to seek medical treatment. And that is, a máa gbàdúrà o, mi ní ká máa gbàdúrà o. But one thing about tọ́mọ bá ti mu substance abuse, which is drugs, for me, they have to detox to get you out of the system. If they don't, the consequences on the family, on the person, the community is huge. Because that child, that person, will not be useful to themselves or to the society. They will be in and out of the criminal justice system wherever they are. Because tí wọ́n bá jalè, health wọn ò gbádùn, wọn ò lè ṣiṣẹ́, ẹ máa bọ́ wọn ni. So it's now so big that, for me, it starts from the home. We have to have that home parental agenda. Put our children's health at first front. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, we want a good life, but I've always said to parents, especially the mother has to hold the house. For me, like I said, people see me in the community, my children comes first. Tí bá jáde ọkọ mi láti wà nílé, táwọn bá jáde ní láti wà nílé, gbogbo ò lè máa jáde gbogbo ìgbà. Even though my children are much older now, but it's always been from when they're young. Gbọ́dọ̀ fi gbogbo ara ṣiṣẹ́, gbọ́dọ̀ fi gbogbo ara ṣe, aláti mójútó àwọn ọmọ wa. Ọlọ́run á máa ṣọ́ wọn o, á máa kírun, á máa gbàdúrà, but Ọlọ́run á máa ṣọ́ wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n iṣẹ́ òbí pàtàkì jùlọ nínú ilé láti mójútó ọmọ is very, very important, because once that issue of being in the wrong gang, in the wrong place, and they start mixing up the wrong people, and it leads to temptation of drugs, then it is a slippery road to disaster. And when you have to face with the consequences, it's not even the financial consequences. It's not even it's the emotion, the physical, the mental, the spiritual that you have to go through. And sometimes some children cannot be rescued. And that's another sad reality. Some end up losing their life through overdose. Some end up in hospital damage because of overdose if they don't die. There's so many things. It's quite distressing, and drugs now are so cheap for some people to even buy. In fact, I was reading in a WhatsApp text message. What people take in Nigeria now to get high. There was a list of things that people take now to get high.
Hmm.
I was trying to understand why. I always try to understand why do people think if they take drugs, it will keep them high? Because these are where education helps. We need to really educate ourselves, our community, our children. Drug is not good for you. Don't even think of taking it. Don't even think of trying it. It's damage your health. It's costly. It's illegal. We have to educate our community, our children, because once it comes to substance abuse, it's a beginning of the end.
Hmm.
It is the beginning of the end, basically. And I'm very blunt about it. And I always pray Almighty Allah will continue to guide our community and our society. But we, as parents, must start from our home. We have to hold the family unit together. We have to strive to maintain the fact that, Isha is not the main thing. Our children upgrading their health, their moral discipline is very important to prevent them from the ills of society. Because if they're exposed, and we have to be vigilant.
Hmm.
It's very important. We have to be. Yes, we live in an extended family. We have to be very vigilant. Some people they can easily manipulate and influence our children,
Wallahi.
and this is why these days of being vigilant is even more important.
Hmm.
You start seeing them coming home behaving when a child start behaving in a very, very awkward way. They're sleeping late. They're waking up late. They're unkempt. They're not washed, and the mannerism change. Start thinking. You really need to start wanting to know what's going on in their life.
Hmm.
And this is why I don't put much on mothers, but the mother has to be much vigilant. You have to be the one making sure that you're close to your children to find out what's going on,
Hmm.
because their health it's everything. Once their health is messed up, their life is messed up.
Allah Akbar.
And that's the reality, because a lot of mental health can be traced to substance abuse.
Hmm.
It can be. There's evidence to support that. And once you're dealing with mental health, you cannot quantify it anymore. And that's why it's so huge. And I want to really use the opportunity to say, our health is wealth.
Allah Akbar.
Our health is wealth. Life is not about just working. Life is about making sure the family unit is well looked after. The family unit is the focus of everything we do. We want to aspire to a good life. We want to aspire to having a good standard of life. But for ourselves, these children we're bringing up, these children we've brought to life, they test to life, they test of our life, and Allah has promised us that He will test us. And the only way we can hold there is making sure that, apart from holding firm the pillars of Islam, is to maintain the fact that we are responsible adults. We are responsible to bring up our children in the moral and the Muslim way. And the first thing is to teach them the way of life and pray that Allah will guide them and support them. But the most important is to be there for them, to be able to guide them and keep a vigilant outlook for them, because substance abuse is real. It's very real. It is very real, and we really have to look out to make sure that our children do not fall prey of people that will abuse them or influence them or manipulate them to think, because from buying it, some will sell it. And that's another topic on its own. They now start selling it to make money to feed their habits. They start, if they can't pay the debt, they will now start using them. The drug dealer will say, okay, you can't pay your debt, start selling for me. That's a different world entirely. And by the time they know it, it's a slippery road to the end again, you know. So may Almighty Allah continue to guide and protect our children and save us from the calamity of substance abuse. And the only thing we can hope and pray is that, you know, they will not fall in the wrong hands of people that feel they're easily manipulated. Allah is the all-knowing. Allah is the omnipotent that will lead us and direct our affairs. Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ fún submission yín lórí substance abuse fáwọn ọmọ wa, kí Ọlọ́run jọ̀ọ́, Ọlọ́run máa bá a ṣọ́ wọn, Ọlọ́run ògo k'Ọlọ́run ṣọ́ àwa náà. A lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyá wa Arógundádé torí àsìkò insha Allah. Torí gbogbo alamọ̀ pé challenges kan wà tó dé bá gbogbo wa láyé lénìí, torí dẹ̀ ní gbogbo wa commit, tí ò fẹ́ mú gbogbo wa sí lọ́mọ, tí ò fẹ́ mú gbogbo wa ráyè tọ́lọ́mọ. Kò sí challenges ọ̀nà jowó lọ. Finance. Ẹlòmíì ṣe débi pé tó lọ ṣe nǹkan mi tí yẹ kò ṣe. Màmá kí ni fa kí ni ẹni àdì ṣiṣẹ́ bí ẹlòmíì ṣiṣẹ́ méjì, ó ṣiṣẹ́ mẹ́ta, ó ṣe mẹ́rin, ṣùgbọ́n kò kí ni iná ò rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé lè náà ṣá lè pè ní challenges of life? Tó bá jẹ́ pé challenges of life ni kí ló fà á mà? Kí la lè fi yanjú ẹ̀? Kí l'Ọlọ́run sọ nípa ẹ̀? Bismillah.
Kí ni value that you place on money? Contentment is important. Yes, there is financial crisis all over the world. The jobs are not there anymore. They are not easily available. People are selling and the profit margin is low. But all we need to do is, are we really managing our life within our means? Just as mentioned about, by my sister during her submission of truck, we have people that can you imagine the students in university already using a Lexus? So when he finishes, what does he want to write? We have made them so high. There was a time I went to psychiatric hospital with a charity organization, the Lions Club, and we were enlightened that make sure that even if you have enough, once in a while deny your children. Yes. So that they will know that it's not everything they want in life that they will get, just like that. But where we now have money being thrown about, Nigeria is having problem of all these Yahoo boys, and the parents felt that all that matters because they place premium on wealth. We just have to get the money by all means. You have these boys doing Yahoo, and by the time they are caught, or at times they say police waste their lives and everything, accusing the police of high-handedness. But where are their parents? Were they able to check them and say everything is not about money? We have people that are in a deep financial crisis. I mentioned one earlier on, a couple struggling, but then do we put their priority right? Why we have some that now worshiping money? It's a financial crisis. We have some that, yes, they are really deprived. They could not make ends meet. But it depends on the value. So, the necessary things of life. Or you are comparing your life with another person. And some will tell their husband, see your mate, see our neighbor. They have just bought so type of car. And see our neighbor. They now have solar, and you want your husband to run crazy to go and look for such money. Some had gone so bad in Nigeria that they now use human sacrifice, their wives, their mothers. Nobody is there to them anymore. That if you should go. All they want is, is that what we call financial crisis? People are just going out of bounds of what Allah has ordained us. All you need is roof it's not extravagant life. Ọmọ ìyá kìíní ló ra mọ́tò fún yẹn o, bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni ìyá tajọ́ ń tẹ̀ fọ́ńtà nísìn, ọmọ ẹ̀ ló gbé fún, kí ni wọ́n wò? Is that what we call financial crisis at this period? Because there are some misplaced priorities when it comes to financial issue. Yes, some people are having it. There's hardship now, for some people to get means of livelihood. Yes, and we said, why don't you explore what are the things to turn and sing? Which way can we go? Remote working is there. They are trading online. How would I improve? Technology has taken over. Would I introduce technology online into my business and see how it will move?
Mm.
Mofere, I want to buy Ogi in this street. Then I search who is selling this around this area. My last work, we just donated some equipment to hospitals, to load, to cancer ward in load. All I picked was just from online. I just searched and they picked, you know, online. There was a lady I used recently for the fidal prayer of my father-in-law. There are just techniques that you need. They have served for me. 4 of them, I've used them for events, in Oshun. But this one once in a while, they send you a message and greet you and say that's for your health, for your well-being. Since 2018 that she has, I couldn't even see her and recognize her. But by the time I need someone, just only one, I made sure that she was the one I picked. So what are the strategies we are putting in our businesses? One,
Yeah.
try to see what are my weaknesses, where is my strength. If you can identify, assess yourself, where do you have? Take for instance, there was a lady that just make the, she's her story is going viral recently from Ghana. She a student in the university. She was there having so many carryover in mathematics and economics. That was the course she went in for. After 4 years, she couldn't graduate. She left the university. And while she left the university, she found working with, just trying to make ends meet, working around that. Oh, her strength is in PR. She returned to the university and she graduated with first
Allah,
class.
Allah Akbar.
Now, so in communication. So all we need to do is, please, all this financial crisis is not, some are, we, how do I put it? That's what we do is what we did not try to get ourselves out of it, or self-inflicted. People are, people are doing this type of business. I want to fet action. You look at it, at this period, how many parties again? How many people are buying new clothes? Can we
Allah.
diversify
Allah.
and do something else? And what else? Demolition or Jawomo later? Yes, whatever happens, food we sell. So all this we need to do is look at yourself, do some self-evaluation. Okay, what are the strengths I have? Some have the opportunity of relocation. You can take of migration. Okay, if I move from this place to this place, would it be better? But it is not what financial crisis, some are inflicted. Someone is reading, my friend has read 4 flats. I must. And they'll be running at a skater. And just as mentioned by with the advice of Elijah Savage, we need to place our priority right. That's
Allah.
financial crisis, but at the same time, we need life work balance. Do I just run after the money and be doing 3 jobs, 4 jobs, all just because you want to, which end that we meet and we never meet. All we need to do is, they said these days, not cut your coat according to your size. You cut it according to your clothes. What style will I make out of this and that will fit me well?
Allah.
It might not necessarily need some big color again, some sleeves, some this. What style can I make within for what I have?
No.
Some are just doing services right from home, sewing material. Those that are abroad, we encourage as many as possible, learn some trade, have some vocational training. They do sewing, you can braid and do some other things. Have another means of, but not that you continue trying to be on the same level as Elijah this, Elijah that, Omo Kini. ọ̀rẹ́ mi ra mọ́tò fọmọ ẹ̀ lánàá èmi náà gbọ́dọ̀ ra mọ́tò fọmọ mi kọ́mọ yẹn mọ́ àwọn ló jẹ́ pé tó bá ti meet. Even part of what I react to what my friend has said, my sister has said earlier was, sometimes when they meet just little challenges, they run to drug for succor instead of running to Allah. Àwọn tí wọn ò kọ́ ọmọ wọn nílé to have the fear of Allah. Tó bá ti ní little disappointment, a little challenge in life, a little trial, all they hook onto is drug for succor instead of asking for the help of Allah. So financial crises abound, no job all over the world. ILO is also crying about it, that yes, the jobs are really dwindling all over the world, but you can be self-employed. You can do some innovation. Think of what you can do. And some cases you fail and retry again. I can't remember the name of the man that invented electricity. He failed about 100 times or more before he succeeded. And today, that is what is related. His name is ever related to electricity. So financial crisis abounds, but some are just words. In Nigeria today, they've gone into kidnapping as a business. Not only Nigeria, I've seen it. It's global. It's becoming a global issue now. Kidnapping. Some kidnaps to go and sell the organ of another human being. So, is that life? Though it is also necessary that to make life more comfortable, might also ask the government to do the needful. If the infrastructures are there, I don't need to source for, provide for my lighting in my house. I don't need to look for how do I buy water. Life could be more bearable for people. But we should not worship money. Ọlọ́run ní kí àwa worship owó. You have to live your life with the fear of Allah. And what is most necessary is that some of us, because we abandon our home, we don't have time to teach our children the fear of Allah, the love of Allah. And then some of them, they don't even know what is called parental love anymore. And when you know what you don't have, you cannot give. Financial crisis, yes, it is a challenge to some, genuinely, but all you need to do is examine yourself. Kí ni nǹkan tí mo lè ṣe? What are needed in this area? We have seen graduates are turning into making ogi. And the way they package their own is different from others.
Yes.
And that gives you edge over others. And someone the other day they showed a man selling kola nuts on Abuja Street at Kubwa. The man was wearing suit. He said he loved people wearing suit. And this red, Hawk is kola nut. He said he believed that one day someone will even move and give him job that befits his dressing. That is thinking big. And that could take him out of his financial crisis as well. So all we need to do is, let's examine what are we doing. Don't allow your problem to destroy you. Because when you have any crisis, the best thing is you allow you to define you. In financial crisis, you allow you to destroy you. Or you try to tackle it. Look for other ways of allow livelihood. Not to do the wrong thing. Don't follow those people that at parties. We saw some people that were arrested recently, how they were displaying dollars as if they are displaying ordinary papers. We have to say that yes, so Ajode new, Ajode America new, and I see this man how he's spending. If they really work hard for that money, do you believe he will go crazy and be spending it like that? So I need láti jẹ́ pé mo gbọ́dọ̀ dàbí kíní. Wọ́n ti ra latest television nínú ilé yìí. Ṣé nǹkan tó máa wò kọ́ ni máa wò ni? If you travel on Lexus, if you travel on whatever all these their big cars, if I travel with my Toyota Corolla or anything, we will get to the same destination.
Exactly.
When you have a house of 13 rooms, by the time you sleep in 2 or 3 in one night, they will take you to the feel that one is having mental derailment and mental illness at 30. So if all these things are just vanity of power, vanity. And Allah has said, abundance of words will distract you. We should not worship money, but make sure that just as we have been ordained, we don't fold our arms when we are in crisis. We don't fold our arms when we are not even in crisis. It was said when you go for Jumat, that after the Salat to Jumat, disperse onto the land and do your trade. That means Allah allows us that we have to strive for means of our livelihood. But don't just wait that every job we must be employed. These days, you can learn a vocation and be self-employed. Entrepreneurship, they are teaching so many people on how to do it. I'm so happy with the topic when I was invited for it, even though I just noticed. I believe this is something like a motivational talk to motivate our people and get out of some of their crises. Yes, you have to be patient with Allah. You have to be, rely on Allah, but Allah does not say you should not work. Strive for means of livelihood that is halal. Look, try as much as possible. Let's sit down, evaluate yourself. Where do I have strength? Even if it's just a cleaner job. I had someone that is located, I met her. She was a cleaner in my office in Nigeria, and the daughter, brought her into US. She's now a citizen. She said when she was doing her cleaning job, the people were so fascinated. I said, he said, I will let you know, maybe don't just me. So she's never out of job because the first she's putting in real competence. You have to make sure you have competence, put in your best in whatever you do. Let's try as much as possible to do our best, but not saying I should be the best. Because try your best. Financial crisis might be there, fingers are not equal, you must eat my duties. Or you could be out of it. But not that I must be the best in this society, I must be the best. No, do your best, but not necessarily aiming to be the best. Because when you do your best, you'll be able to impact on so many lives. But when you are doing the best, the tendency is that, yes, I don't want this one to you, want to trample on other people. I don't want this to surpass me. And you will run a crazy race, all to accumulate and accumulate and accumulate and accumulate wealth. So all we are saying is the strategy is try to know who you are, what is your strength, what are my weaknesses, what can I do better than what I'm doing now? Search yourself, think big, change your mindset that okay, I can make it. If it requires relocation, just as you had mentioned earlier on, Professor Mohammed made Israel, you can migrate. Migrating even from urban to rural area and go into farming. At least it will sustain you and have food on your table. When you are able to have, your meals, your problem is mostly
Allah Akbar.
solved. They must have it. May Allah guide us right
Amen.
and make life not difficult for us.
Àmín. 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 Mo láwọn bí ìbéèrè méjì torí pé ọjọ́ tí ń lọ bí àná, òun sì ń lọ síbi àtiwọ̀. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí tí a ń ṣe yìí pẹ̀lú àwọn ìyá wa ni. A lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyá wa kí ó ṣọlá wípé aṣóbìnrin gangan fúnra wa. Torí we are said we have ninth enlightenment, women enlightenment. Challenge obìnrin gangan fúnra wọn torí àìmọye challenge tó obìnrin máa ń face fúnra wọn gangan gẹ́gẹ́ bí obìnrin tó sì pọ̀. Kí lẹ́yìn lè rí sọ sí? Kí ni àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ yín yá wa? Kí lẹ́ ṣe látara challenges of life tí gbogbo wa tí ẹ̀yin yá wa tẹ́yìn náà ń kojú? Bismillah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is an interesting question. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us aright. Women challenges. Àwọn obìnrin fún ara wa gangan pàápàá challenge ni wa. ara wa láyé ara wa kọ́lọ́n kó ṣàánú wa ni. Yeah, there are lots of challenges that we face as women. Ṣé nílé ni, ṣé níbi iṣẹ́ ni, ṣé láàrin ẹbí ni, ṣé láàrin ọ̀rẹ́ ni, ṣé, name it, anywhere, lórí ọmọ ni. There are lots of challenges that we face. But alhamdulillah for those of us that realize that, challenges are part of life. Difficulties, are ways of life. So when those challenges, you know, come up, you won't feel too bad about it. You may be disturbed, but you having your foundation, you having your life, built on Allah's will, then you'll be able to manage the situation with prayers, with communication, and everything that it takes to succeed on it. So there are challenges, there are life challenges, like let's say even marital challenges that women faces in life. If you are fortunate to have your own husband, you should give glory to God. Okay, ṣe pé ìwọ nìkan ló ń ṣe. Kò dẹ̀ kí n ṣe pé àwọn tí wọ́n ní problem yẹn, kò kí n ṣe pé wọ́n mọ̀ ṣe. There are individual differences, and there are ways that we were made that are different from each other. There are some people that, by virtue of their charisma, or I don't know, there are some things that will work for some ladies and will not work for other ladies. Some women may be so respectful, maybe all over their husband, may do anything to suit the husband, may do anything to make the home work. But unfortunately for such women, nothing will work. Kò sí nǹkan tó máa ṣe tó lè tẹ́ ọkùnrin yẹn lọ́rùn. It's not that pé kò mọ̀ ṣe, ẹ̀dá tọ́lọ́run dá òun ni. But in such a situation too, tá bá gbà pé Ọlọ́run náà ló ń direct wa, Ọlọ́run náà ló ní gbogbo affairs wa. When we go back to him, when we cry unto him, when we, place our affairs unto him, we hand over everything to him. It may be long, it may be short. Ó máa gbàdúrà wa, ó máa fi nǹkan tá a fẹ́ lé wa lọ́wọ́. We said earlier on that hardship is a way of life. That may be your own hardship to get to where you are going, to be wherever Allah wants you to be. Maybe such things that you have to face. There are challenges over our children. Like my mommy said earlier on, that substance abuse on the children, the parents have a lot to do. When a child is good, is the father's child. When a child is good, on the other hand, is the mother's child. So obìnrin náà ni ó máa forí kó gbogbo ẹ̀ nínú ilé. So that obìnrin needs to really improve herself. Ó ń láti lè dúró dáadáa, ó ń láti lè mọ Ọlọ́run dáadáa. Àwọn obìnrin ni wọ́n nílé, àwọn ni wọ́n lè mú ilé dúró. So any challenge tó bá ń bọ̀, obìnrin yẹn ló máa kọ́kọ́ lè dúró, lè ṣàyà gbangba pé ilé mi leléyìí, I'm not going to let it, crumble. I'm going to face it. I'm not going to run away from the challenges. I'm going to face the challenges, and I'm going to get out of it victoriously. So kí àwọn ọmọ yẹn, ó máa ṣe tọ́ wọn, bàbá ti jáde lọ wọn lọ ṣiṣẹ́. So the onus is on the woman to care for the children as well as the husband. So the pé àwọn ọmọ yẹn wọn ò rìnrìn kúrìn, wọn ò wu ìwàkuwà. And she herself has to be a good role model so that àwọn ọmọ yẹn wọ́n lè emulate. Because if wọ́n sọ pé tẹ bá fẹ́ fún èèyàn láṣọ, ẹ máa wo aṣọ tẹ́nìyẹn kọ́kọ́ wọ̀ náà ni. So you should be a good role model. So you should be able to tell your child to see, do as I do, boldly. Then you want to substance abuse. Like if parents engage in such thing, wọn ò ní lè give education yẹn fọ́mọ wọn. And our teenagers, we should be able to be friends with them. We should be able to be role models to them. We should be able to advise them on the ways of life, teach you the ways of life, and to train them to always take things back to Allah, not to their friends. They should have that confidence in us that they can talk to us anytime. Your husband should even be feel free to talk to you. Not that way when he says something, you're going to take it to the next level. He won't come back to tell you anything anymore. Rather than him telling you and you both finding solution to the issue is having or so, he will rather, tell it to someone else outside or bottle it up. Somebody there bottle it up. You know, let you go will it do. Because inú ń bí kò dẹ̀ rí ibi tó ṣe fẹ́ nǹkan kan ń ṣe kò dẹ̀ rí ibi tó ti fẹ́ express rẹ̀. So in other words, wọ́n máa transfer aggression yẹn, annoyance yẹn sí everybody tó bá súnmọ́. So there's a lot of work on our shoulders as women to, láti lè jẹ́ kí ìlú kó dúró. Challenges níbi iṣẹ́, there are lots of challenges at work. Gender challenges ó wà ń bẹ̀. Tán lè wo pé nǹkan iṣẹ́ yìí ọkùnrin ló lè ṣe, or the remuneration ó lè máa wà equal. What a man is doing, the way they remunerate them is different from the way they remunerate women. Or maybe they are bringing up committees and things like that. So wọ́n ní àwọn ọkùnrin kan pọ̀ ju àwọn obìnrin lọ, or kán máa wò pé because àwọn obìnrin kán máa fún wọn ní position tó tọ́ sí wọn torí pé they are going to take maternity leave at some point in time. So those are challenges níbi iṣẹ́, because obìnrin ló dẹ̀ máa gba maternity leave lóòótọ́, because obìnrin ló máa jókòó sí ọmọ ní ilé tí wọ́n bá bímọ. So based on that, àwọn míì máa wò pé they don't want to give a young woman responsibilities, or they don't even want to give her that job, or kí wọ́n elevate sí position tó jẹ́ yẹn. So that is, ara àwọn challenges tí èèyàn lè rí nínú ilé. Then challenges náà lórí gender náà. When you find yourself in the midst of men, sometimes when you tell the thing like obìnrin ló ń sọ̀rọ̀, there are some people tán ṣì wà in that era. The women are to be relegated. Women cannot talk. Women cannot do this. Women cannot do that. We have some people tán ṣì wà ní age yẹn. So enlightenment náà la mama ṣe bí irú tá à ń ṣe yìí náà ni, that if Allah has brought any woman out there, the men should support the woman. They should not see the woman as a threat, or as pé bóyá ó fẹ́ wá gba iṣẹ́ àwọn ṣe, àbó ó fẹ́ wá máa pàṣẹ fáwọn, àbó fẹ́ máa no. Let's see that that is what Allah has designed for that person, and allow the person to do it. Then another thing is, if you're in a position too at home, then you shouldn't jeopardize the quality of your home. Ẹ má sọ pé bóyá because you are in a position, then ilé yín ó máa wà in trouble. No. Wọ́n sọ pé ilé láti máa ń kó ẹ̀ṣọ́ ròde, irrespective of whatever you are doing out there, irrespective of the position you are out there, you should know that your home comes first. Your family comes first. You should realize that you are still a wife to somebody, you are a mother to somebody, and you are a daughter to somebody. So you should still discharge your duties to all these people as you are supposed to do it. That is when that Allah can bless whatever you are doing. If you fail to do this, kọ́lọ́ má jẹ́ kí a ṣe lásán, kọ́lọ́ má dẹ̀ ṣe wá ẹni tó jẹ́ pé ó kàn ń da níta, kò dá nínú ilé. So irrespective of ibi tẹ́ bá wà, ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé ilé wa òun ni àkọ́kọ́, ó ṣe kókó. So we should join hands with our husband to build our home, to build our children. So challenges náà tún wà. Lóòótọ́ ọkùnrin míì, it may be that the man is wayward, or the man is, or cannot cherish anything, or maybe he's thinking that taleleyi, subdue, patience who are very, very important, and communication too. If whatever we are going through, whatever is happening, we should be able to come to a round table to table our grievances so that we can both look at it and then see how it will work. Two wrongs will never make a right. A lè máa fi a lè máa throw shoulders pẹ̀lú àwọn ọkọ wa, a ní lè achieve anything. But if we want something from them and then we know the way to go about it, we'll be able to achieve that thing or to even obtain that thing without any iota of trouble or any ill feeling. And another thing is that we should respect our husband when
Alhamdulillah.
they are doing when they are assisting us. We shouldn't see it as our right. We shouldn't see that they are supposed to do it. Ṣebí mo ti lọ síbi iṣẹ́ látàárọ̀, ó yẹ oúnjẹ tó ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ kó ṣe ni. No, if we have been out all day and we are lucky that we have somebody that will prepare something for us, Tabade, we should appreciate the person. Let us not see it as our right. That no, it's not done that way. So life is full of challenges. Challenges are inevitable in life. With hardship comes ease. With distress comes relief. With challenges comes wisdom. So ẹ jẹ́ ká face carry àwọn challenges yẹn as way of life. Ká face yẹn, ká dẹ̀ come out gathered stronger and more wiser. Kí Ọlọ́run kó ràn wá lọ́wọ́.
Alhamdulillah, ìyàwó wọn sọ̀rọ̀ lórí àwọn challenges àwọn obìnrin kan, kí ọlọ́kùnrin tí ò ní challenge. Àwọn ọkùnrin náà tá a bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ tiwa náà nísìnyí, ilẹ̀ máa kún ni. Torí challenge àwọn ìyá wa lọ, Ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fún yín, Ọlọ́run gbọ́ lọ. Ìyá wa Arógundádé, ẹni bá log out, ẹ bá log in padà, fídíò yẹn ṣe bákan ká lè rojú yín. Alhamdulillah, a nífẹ̀ẹ́ kí ká máa rojú yín tẹ́ bá ń ṣe program báyìí, k'Ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fún yín. A lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyá wa Bilkis Savage, nítorí àsìkò ẹ bá mute ara yín ni pé challenges kan wà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn táwa diaspora la lè understand yẹn. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ kẹ́ bá yànnà náà, kẹ́ bá ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ dáadáa fáwọn èèyàn wa. Ó ní challenges of relocation. So tá a bá fẹ́ relocate from Nigeria or from Africa to United Kingdom or to America or to Canada, ìròrí wa yàtọ̀ síra wa. N tá ń rí ní media ó yàtọ̀ sí n tá ń bá ń bí, ó yàtọ̀ sí nǹkan tá ń rí. Challenges yẹn wá pọ̀. Ó jẹ́ pé ṣé is it because we are not prepared for it or because we have seen it pé tá bá ti débi yìí is bed of roses, tá bá ti débi àkàn máa plug the Canadian dollar lórí igi ni, àkàn máa mú dollar nílẹ̀ẹ́lẹ̀, a bá dé UK ní pound sterling yẹn àkàn máa mú lórí títì ni. Kí ni challenges of relocation? Kí ni ta lè ṣe sí? Kí ni ta gbọ́dọ̀ dì mẹ́rù wa tá a bá ń bọ̀ ní ìlú báyìí? Àti kí ni nǹkan tá a lè ṣe nígbà tá a bá débi? Bismillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So relocation. I can use myself as a case study. Adúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run torí pé
Màmá wa ṣe lè súnmọ́wọ́ tó yín díẹ̀.
Is that better? Yeah, better.
Ìyá Bilkis Savage, ṣe lè súnmọ́wọ́ tó yín díẹ̀ ká rí yín dáadáa.
Ṣó better báyìí?
Rárá, ẹ tún lọ sí ṣọ́wọ́sì ni ẹni.
Báyìí kọ́.
Ẹ bá súnmọ́.
Ó better báyìí?
Ó better bẹ́ẹ̀.
Okay.
Bismillah.
Torí pé relocation, people come to abroad for a better life. It's always for a better life, to have a better life. You come and study and you build up a family from there. I'm a case study in the sense that it's almost 40 years I've been in UK. I came here straight from secondary school, studied, end up training and worked for the civil service for almost 35 years now. Now, when you relocate to a different country, be it America, be it UK. Even the language. That's the first starting point. Communication. The language is something you're starting all over again. Excuse me. It's enormous challenge. And the fact that then your religion, your identity as a Muslim is questioned in the Western world. You're seen as a threat. You're seen as not one of them. You have to understand the cultural identity. You don't know where some people, because they're not mature, because they're not strong in their faith, they miss a match. And people that they be very steadfast in their religion in Nigeria, suddenly they're abroad, they're no longer Muslim. They start going to church because they're not faced with challenge of living abroad. And all of a sudden, somebody will tell them to go to church or not Akbar. Relocation is a huge challenge for us, especially with Muslim identity. For me, I don't see it as a challenge. I've embraced it. I've always been a Muslim from day one I came to this country, even though I stay with white people. But they know me. I've never changed my name. I'm Bilkis. I'm always Bilkis. They might call me Billy, but I've never changed my name. Some people will change their name. Some people will hide their identity. Some people will not even move with their family friends anymore. They will pretend not to be Nigerian or Muslim. They will adopt another identity completely because they think by blending it, they're going to make it. So when you relocate, you're starting a new journey, a new life entirely. The question now is, how strong are you in your faith? For me, it's always going to be that. How strong are you in your faith? Because you're going to face with the challenge, like I said, starting from education. Then you find out when you come abroad, the roads are not made of gold. You have to start afresh. Your degree in Nigeria might not be able to find you a job. You might have, like our mother said, you must have to start doing cleaning job. Most people have done it. I've done cleaning job. I've worked in McDonald's. I've been a newspaper seller at the station. It's a fact of life. You have to be humble in life. When you come abroad, wọ́n not rántí ọmọ ẹni tí wọ́n ń ṣe. Lè wá sáàbọ̀ kó wá rò pé torí pé mo wá láti ilé royal family kan, mo wá láti ilé ọlá kan, wọn ṣe irúṣẹ́ yìí nílé wa. The road is not made of gold. You have to start afresh. And abroad these days is not even abroad of yesterday. The global challenge, the economic situation has even made things worse. That got the win me. It is a total different world to where we are. People still want to relocate. I would encourage with caution. I will encourage for people to do their research, because the days of where you come to London, you can stay with people. You cannot stay with people anymore. For me now, I cannot have somebody, a family friend without papers in my house by virtue of the fact that I'm working for the government. By virtue of the fact that I work for the civil service. I will go to jail for that. It's happened. I'm saying it just to say it. And that does she share àbúrò ọkọ ẹ̀ náà lọ réèdì wọ́n ló mọ̀ ń pẹ̀, and that was it. So for us, all ti pass òfin yẹn sí pé tó bá ṣiṣẹ́ fúnjọba ó lè gba ẹ̀wọ̀n tí ò níwèé sílé. That's the challenge you face now. You can't even have your own family or friends coming out from Nigeria pé ẹ jẹ́ kí n bá yín gbé for 6 months màá tóra mi, ó lè gba ẹ̀wọ̀n sílé mọ́. Anybody coming abroad now has to be able to maintain themselves. Because in London now, you have to have tó o bá níwò lè ṣiṣẹ́, o lè open the bank account, o lè ní driving license, o lè ní doctor. So the question is, where are you going to stay? Who's going to fund you? How much money do you have to fund yourself? The reality of location is different from how it was 10 years ago, because the law changed 10 years ago. I know people are still coming. I know people that are still coming and they still feel it's better than Nigeria. I know people, like I'm speaking to you, because they will know somebody that knows somebody, and you get to know about them. they will still feel it's better than Nigeria. But the abroad of yesterday is longer the abroad of where we live. When we see people spraying money and people think, oh, they're enjoying abroad, the reality is totally different, because you have to pay your rent. That's a fact. You pay for your TV, pay your water rate, you pay everything. And I always say to people, what people see is people virtually live on overdrafts or car loans. Because that is reality. Even, my husband will always say that, oh, can you imagine, for the money both you and I earned, and we're just barely managing. And that is a reality, because when you want to have want to maintain a standard of life, to the fair jolly. And that's people with papers, they need paper. So relocation has to be done with research, with understanding where you're starting a new journey, and the new journey you're starting, do you have the money to sustain yourself for at least a year? And a lot of relocation has caused family problem within marriage.
Yes.
Because usually within the medical field, ìyàwó àkọ́kọ́ lọ tó wáyé pé nọ́ọ̀sì ni kó lọ settle ara ẹ̀ kó tó mọ́kọ wọlé. It has caused a lot of friction within family life. Ìyàwó a máa to pépà, ẹlòmíì á to pépà ọdún mẹ́rin ọdún mẹ́ta, ọkọ ò tí ì wọlé. Àmọ́ wà Nàìjíríà, òun nìkan ló ń dá gbé. Owó tó bá rí náà tó máa send ẹ̀ pé kó fi mọ́kọ. They will be struggling. And these are the things, there's got to be a discussion about when you're relocating. There's got to be a discussion how long you're relocating for. What is going to be the priority? The marriage, the children, the family life. There's got to be that discussion, because wallahi, again, just like substance abuse, like my sister has said about the challenges, it is a big problem. And like my mother said, I'm glad we're treating this subject, because this is reality of what we face today. People relocate to Nigeria as well, from one part of Nigeria to the other. They face similar problem. The difference of relocation now than years back is our life has changed. Our life has changed now. You cannot quickly just jump on the plane now. Molo Nigeria. To go to Nigeria now is £1,000 ticket. Not to talk about corona fees and all that. Not to talk about exchange money. Meanwhile, when you leave London, you're still paying your bills. You're still paying your bills. And most of us, unless you're self-employed, you only have one major income. Family, don't bless. Combined income between the husband and wife, let it back 5,000 a month. That I can say confidently. Tolong bad blessing, or come back 2,000, but we are come back 3,000, or back 2,000, and that's even more than an average family. Okay? That's household income. Low shoe 5,000 wale. Out of that, they're going to pay their money. They're going to pay their money. They're going to feed their children. They're going to pay the bills. Meanwhile, cost is flat in Nigeria. So you're balancing that. So when it comes to relocation, a lot of things attached to it. I don't believe coming to abroad for the sake of coming to abroad, like our mother said, because it's become a competition now. Because I know when the police knock on my door now, I will open my door for them.
For sure.
Ẹlòmíì wà tẹ́ pé amọ̀bi tó wà lè sọ ẹ kò gbọ́ pé kò sí around ni amọ̀bi tó wà. I was crying I think this was about 20 years ago. Come on, ìyá méjì wà lẹ́wọ̀n at the same time. What for? Because they were selling drugs. Some people come abroad to relocate. They're not humble enough to struggle, like our mother said, to struggle to make it, to do the hard work. They want to live that high life, and they start selling drugs. or doing Yahoo. So relocation, yes, it has its benefit. Let me put it that way. For a better life, you come abroad, you study, you struggle, you can make a better life. But, and that's where the big but is, what people see on TV, what people see on social media, that is not the reality of relocation. The challenges of relocation is you have to adapt to the system here. And there are laws and regulations. Kò sí adájọ́ kan tó máa lọ bẹ̀ ń bí báyìí o. Kò sí pé ọmọ ìyá kan wà bí pé ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ló wà ní court, ó wà ní council tó bá mi ṣe. Kò sí yẹn, whether in America, Europe, or London. One of the very first things as a civil servant, your code of conduct, anywhere you work, code of conduct ni applies. So kò sí pé lágbájá conflict of interest, kò sí pé mọ́mọ́ mi ni jẹ́ ká jọ jòwó, kò sí yẹn ń bẹ̀. You have to apply the rules and regulations. So when it comes to relocation, I want to exercise the fact that yes, it has its benefits, and some of us will relocate. Bóyá àbúrò ti relocate, ó fẹ́ mú àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n, ó fẹ́ mú family wá. I want to encourage it, but I think we need to exercise caution to do our research, to understand that we're starting a new journey, a new cultural journey, a journey where sometimes our religion is not embraced. We have to be matured enough to hold on to the rope of Allah, to be matured enough that we're Muslim. Are we still going to be practicing our religion? We're not going to pretend that we're Muslim. We're not going to lose our religion. We're not going to forgo our religion. Our religion will still be at the forefront. We're not going to just say because, oh, it's a quick way of making money, I'll leave my religion, I'll do something else. A lot of people, it's an open secret. You go some churches, you see a lot of Alaja and Alaji, because they've been promised instant salvation. Let's go, gbogbo problem tẹ́ bá ní, ó máa gbàdúrà fún yín, ó máa disappear. I have nothing against people going to church, by the way. I'm just using an example that, you have to be strong in your faith to understand where you belong to. Are you a Muslim or are you a Christian? Not to mix the two together. Allah said we need to be steadfast in our religion. We need to be mindful of what we do, how we do things. You cannot be going to church today and going to mosque tomorrow. You need to be steadfast. And when you come to abroad and there will be challenges. Be it financial challenges, there will be challenges. In marriage, there will be challenges, because how quickly you make it will come between you and your husband. Like I said, sometimes the wife will come, the husband, it will take years to come, then you have to bring the children. That is going to be a challenge. There will be financial challenges, because you're struggling and you're still having to send money home. There will be emotional challenges. That physical separation between you and your family, waiting for your husband, your children to join you. There will be spiritual challenges. How do you practice your faith in between going to the mosque? Now, irun asuba by 3 o'clock at the kasuba. Isha is after 10. After 10. So it's if when you are abroad, it is something that it's almost impossible. I will do it almost 18 hours. I will do it almost 18 hours. So, and that's just practicing as much as you can. Then you go to work. Are you going to be known as a Muslim? Because being a Muslim is your identity, your dressing, your mannerism, everything. Are you going to hide and pretend you're not a Muslim? And that is a test of your faith. That's going to be part of your test of your faith. Or are you a Muslim at home and not a Muslim at work? And this is where your role model comes in, because when you have children and you want the children to embrace that religion, it is what you practice that your children will pick up.
Muslim on Sundays alone.
And because a lot of our children, part of Balaja saw, because all the challenge there, or the way drug comes into it. This is part of where our challenges comes in. A lot of children, they don't know where they belong to. Are they Muslim? Who are they?
Wow.
Because now we are abroad, it's so easy to live in your own world and forget the outside world. And the children do not know. One of the things we're treating about is the cultural identity. It's a cultural identity because they don't know whether are they Muslim, are they Nigerian, are they British. And it's because they have been brought up here. Some of them have been born here. And you see some children, they bring them from Nigeria. Just like I came here. You wonder what's gone wrong because they don't even want to know they're Nigerian. They don't even want to know they're Muslim. You could say it's the way they've been brought up. You could say it's because they've mixed with society, some people. But these are the challenges of relocation. These are the challenges of relocation. So we have to be strong in our ethics when we are relocating. It is a journey for us. It is good because it could be a new journey for a better life to strengthen our religion. But the challenges has to be faced within the pillars of Islam. We hold on to our faith. We keep praying. We keep remembering Allah in everything we do. We must not forget our faith. We must not disown our faith. And we must behave as a good Muslim. One ìwà lesson. When people see a good Muslim that behave, people will embrace the religion. Because we are the ambassadors of Islam. What we do, we showcase the peace in our religion. And for me, I hope, being abroad, we're showcasing our religion, we're showcasing our country. We're not hiding away. Just because abroad, for me, that's even the most wrong thing for us to hold on to. Because we're on the world stage. When we relocate, we are on the world stage. Nasfat in Nigeria is Nasfat in America. It's Nasfat in UK. Because it's one religion. It's Allah we're all calling. And we have to behave the same way. And that's why it's always good to remember that just by living the shore of Nigeria doesn't mean we can do whatever we want. Because our Muslim identity will follow us to wherever we are. I know when I go to Nigeria, I can go to Nasfat, Alausa. If I come to Canada, the same thing. If I come to America, the same thing. So you want to change just because I feel Nigeria I'm go London, if anything more, you want to go to Lekusini ni. But we will face challenges. I want to say that challenges of life will come, be it financial. Financial is the biggest thing.
Alhamdulillah.
It will be the biggest thing because before you start making it, it probably take you a couple of years to settle, to get your papers, to get a good job, and start enjoying the hard work. In between, we have to be patient. Those are our strategies. We have to be patient. We have to persevere. Kashe suru. Kani roju. Iroju pe Ọlọ́run á ṣe. Kama koju pe just because we see some people, we don't know if they made it within 2 or 3 years, they're driving the best car. We don't know. We all know why they've made it. They've not made it in a straight way. But like our mother said, and like my sister, our 5 fingers are not equal. Some will make it, some will not make it. But what Allah teaches us is to be steadfast, to walk in the right path, in the straight path, to be honorable, to be trustworthy, to be honest, and steadfast. Because those will be the pillars our children will see and be able to learn. If there are discipline in the home and the children can see those role models, they're more likely to follow us. But if we come to London and we relocate and we think we can do what we want, start jumping and circumventing the system and doing all sorts of illegal activities, our children will see that
Alhamdulillah,
and will
alhamdulillah.
go the wrong way.
Alhamdulillah. Ẹ ṣé mà, tá a bá ní pé ká máa tún ṣeré náà lọ ní diaspora yìí, a ní lè sọ tán. Torí pé mo rántí àwọn brọ́dà mi kan ní Houston, a máa ń pè wọ́n ní brother Sobu, brother Andrew àti Alhaji Atije Adams. They will say when you come to America or you come to Western world, ẹ jẹ́ kẹ́ni yẹn lọ for 6 months just to go and enjoy the breeze. Just to go and enjoy America, enjoy Canada, enjoy UK for 6 months, and you come back after 6 months for advice. Mo ní tó bá tún wá padà fún advice, a ti mọ tí wọ́n pè ní Western world. Táwọn bá ń sọ fúngbà yẹn á lè yé. Táwọn bá ń sọ fúngbà yẹn á lè yé. Torí pé ẹni tó bá ti ṣe security nínú snow rí, ọwọ́ ẹ̀ ti gan. At the end of the day, nígbà 2 weeks, tó fún ní báyà tí ò tiẹ̀ pé $500. Ó máa sanwó ilé, ó máa sanwó gbogbo ẹ̀. Á tún mú mi náà ni. Àbáwọn tó jẹ́ pé from one bus to another bus ni. Àbí from one job to another job. Wọ́n ní ìyẹn náà yé irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀. Kọ́lọ̀ ń ṣàánú wa pẹ̀lú challenges of life. Bó bá ṣe ń sọ́tò náà, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà ló tún relocate náà tọ́lọ̀ ń ṣàánú wọn tí wọ́n tún make ẹ̀ náà. Bí àṣà wa ní Nàìjíríà, wọ́n á ní kò easy, ó kọ́lé aláwọ̀kọ́, kò easy, ó kẹ́lẹ̀ kejì, kò easy, ó ra mọ́tò. Ẹ má jẹ́ ó easy bẹ́ẹ̀ náà, challenges of life náà ni. Kí Ọlọ́run ṣàánú gbogbo wa. Nítorí àsìkò, eléyìí tá máa fi ráàpù ẹ̀ ńlẹ̀, tá máa fi kólẹ̀, tí a tún máa fi dágbére níjọ́ tí a tún mú di enlightenment náà ni pé a darí sọ́dọ̀ ìyá wa Arógundádé insha Allah. Wípé màmá, ǹjẹ́ kí lẹ understand lórí pé life without challenges. Ìyẹn láfi kólẹ̀ ní ọ̀dọ̀ àgbàlagbà lọ́rọ̀ tí tún sọ. Ǹjẹ́ kí lẹ̀yin understand lórí life without challenges, màmá?
Tí mo understand lórí life challenges. Without challenges. Kò kí that should be bá yàtọ̀ lọ́run lóyìnbó, it should be an illusion. Kò possible. Ọlọ́run ò sọ fún wa pé òun máa dá wa láì yẹ̀ wá wò. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti sọ lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ pé how do you put students in class and do not assess them? Allah. Challenges are part of life assessment from Allah. You said you believe in me. Yes. Are you a weak believer or a strong believer? Tí ìgbéníjà bá dé, ẹni tí ó mọ Ọlọ́run, ọba pé Allah láàárọ̀ tó sá lọ síbi tí ò yẹ kó sá lọ lórí pé ìgbéníjà dé. Ṣáwọn tó wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn náà ní ìgbéníjà.
Allah.
You should not just think of this dunya, but what Allah said is there will be some challenges. He will test us as He has stated those before us. We have the prophet. Ọlọ́run dán wọn wò. Ó shake wọn. Tí ẹ sọ, when will the help comes? Said the help is there to you. Ọ̀pọ̀ Ọlọ́run ká, bó ni ìrànlọ́wọ́ yìí náà wà? Ọ̀hún ni ìrànlọ́wọ́ náà ti dé tán. So we should all know that we should not think it is not possible that life without challenges. Ìpèníjà máa wà. Ó wá depend lórí bàbá ṣe gba nǹkan tọ́lọ́run ṣe fún wa. Ó different category ló fi wà. Àti pé bàbá ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ilé ayé wa sí. Ẹ bá ṣe táwọn ọmọ yín sí. Nǹkan tí wọ́n ń retí tó ti pọ̀ ju bó ṣe yẹ lọ tí ojú wọn ti ga jù. Ó lè jẹ́ kí ìpèníjà yẹn, the challenges to really shake them, some will not be able to stand it. Or when you prepare your children, you prepare your life, that yes, life is full of challenges. Life is full of challenges. You can enjoy life, but you also have some pains. And with pains, you will have gains. Just as elaborated by my sister Keushola, whenever you have challenges, you come out stronger and wiser or might improve life. But nobody should feel that mò ń sin lọ́run bí ṣe ń sin lọ́run tó. When my daughter was sick, someone will say, ẹ sọ fọ́lọ́run bẹ ṣe ń pè tó yìí. Mo ní my own even level of the worship compared to my daughter that he was sick and was having cancer was mi ò lè stand lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ for what my daughter had putting into Islam. Because ní bí àwọn ṣe gbé, you know, she was an Amira, she well known in Guinea. Alhamdulillah, Alhaja Abdulkis, many people traveled. She traveled all the way from London with the easiest means that is convenient for her to come and visit me, you know, to come and communicate with me in Aberdeen. Many people came. All over, you know, àwọn ò mọ̀ rí bọ̀ tó ń kọ́ àwọn ní kéwú. Èmi ò kọ́yàn ní kéwú, mi ò tẹ ìmọ̀lẹ́ pẹ́pẹ́ kan bọ̀ ó ń kọ́ wọn ní Islam lórí kínní. So kì í ṣe wípé mi ṣe sin Ọlọ́run tó, but the only thing I learned from her and I want people to learn is when challenges come, she made everything easy for me. Wallahi kò fi àìkú. To the end. Allah Akbar. I told them when they came to visit me, pé mo kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ní àárẹ̀. Ó jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ pé bóyá Islam mi kò tí ì tó, I need to learn more. So tí challenges bá dé, ẹ jẹ́ ká mú pé yes, ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ló ti wá. From God she has come. She was so peaceful with her God to the end. So peaceful with her God to the end. So we should know that, and then we ìbá tún ti ń ṣàdúrà tó bá tún ṣe kíkan lẹ́gbàá mi á ní Mommy, you showed us the way. You did talk to God with kini. Ẹ má fi ìtara sọ nǹkan. Ẹ jẹ́ kọ́lọ́run ṣe nǹkan tó fẹ́. You know, she will just feel that no, not me. You are not displaying the kini of. Ẹ má pariwo ṣàdúrà. Ẹ ṣàrọra softly. Alhamdulillah. So we should all know that there is no life, you know, before our own, a week before she died, this man told her, I can't remember his Sanusi, you know, didn't communication. The man passed on cancer as well. And you read the tribute of my daughter, everybody was there, you know, traveling all the way from everywhere that they should be. So all we are saying is, Ọlọ́run ò dá wa kó òun ní dán wa wò. And only you want to know how strong you are in faith. So it should be an illusion. Ẹ má kéèyàn má imagine pé níbi ṣe ń pọ Ọlọ́run tó ìkọ̀kan ò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi. No. Gbogbo a máa gbàdúrà ní pé kọ́lọ́run jọ tó máa ju gbàgbọ́ wa lọ kọ́nà má fi dán wa wò. A máa bẹ Ọlọ́run ní pé kọ́lọ́run kó ṣàánú wa nínú àánú ẹ̀. À ń ṣe ànábì mọ àwọn ànábì ẹ̀ lágbára tó wọn. We are not as strong. Kó jọ kó jẹ́ kí àdánwò wa kó ṣe nímọ̀ba. But kò sí ẹ̀dá Ọlọ́run sọ pé òun dá wa kó òun ní dán wa wò. Ẹ ní kọ́ ọmọ sí class kẹ́ máa promote wọn láì jẹ́ pé ẹ ṣe test fún wọn. Challenge is a test, is a trial of faith. Ọlọ́run fẹ́ mọ bó ṣe súnmọ́ òun tó, bó ṣe gbà fún òun tó. Pé ṣó ṣẹlẹ̀, have patience. Ó dẹ̀ sọ pé you have to she continue maintaining the issue of sabr as our attitude. You should be able to persevere in any circumstances you find yourself. Ẹ bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run, ẹ wá ọ̀nà àbáyọ nípa pé ẹ yẹra yín wò. No self-assessment. Ẹ wá pé okay, kí ni nǹkan tí mo tún lè ṣe tó lè improve this situation. But Ọlọ́run bá ti gbé ṣe ẹ̀dín, ẹ jẹ́ kí Mùsùlùmí gbà pé wọ́n ní ká sọ pé inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. From don't submit, from Allah we have come and to Allah we shall return. Whatever that befalls you, when to bá ní that ìgbàgbọ́ pé ilé tó mo kọ́ tó jiná jó yìí náà, Ọlọ́run ló fún mi, òun ló gbà. Mọ́tò ẹ̀ tó gbé síta tí wọ́n ò lè jí lọ, Ọlọ́run ló fún mi, òun náà ni. O mọ àdápadà oore tọ́lọ́run máa ṣe fún ẹ. Kéèyàn ní fọkànbalẹ̀. Wọ́n ṣe pé téèyàn bá wá tó ní mi ò sunkún. Ìdán àti pé mo retí, kọ́mọ kú. But Ọlọ́run ti ṣe. Ìgbà tí mo lè sunkún ti lè fi bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run, mo ti fi bẹ̀. So when Ọlọ́run ti ṣe pé Ọlọ́run mo gbàdájọ́ ẹ̀ ṣàánú mi lórí àwọn tó kù. That is what a Muslim should do. You submit. But for you to think that torí mo ti ń sìn, àmì mọ́kàndé mọ́ṣáláṣí mo lọ gbá mọ́ṣáláṣí wákàtí 5 mi ò já. Ìyẹn ò ní pé kí
challenges.
Here, you can still have the challenges. She was just emphasizing to us, please, let's identify our read. Let them hold on to the Quran. This is an assignment. This is my brother. Make sure it's an assignment I'm giving you. Continue mentoring him on his religious activities. Those are the things. And when you are interviewing them, what do you do? Said we have to love the Quran. Our mother loved the Quran, and we have to love the Quran. That is the only tribute we can give to her. So along we cannot. Allah has not promised us a life without trial, without test, without tribulation. How strong are you in faith? A stronger believer is better than a weaker one. Mi ò ní irọ́ mi ò lágbára àdánwò tó mi ò ní sìn dáadáa. Gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ náà ni when you become out stronger, ó máa fún ẹ ní it purifies us, it expiates our sins, you are able to get closer, it makes you to trace your feet back to Allah. Ṣé mò ń ṣe tó? Kí ni àwọn nǹkan tí mi ò ṣe tó sọ́lọ́run? Ìwọ náà lè yẹrẹ wò pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run kí Ọlọ́run kó kọ́ wa mọ̀ ṣe. Ẹ̀dá kankan gbọ́dọ̀ ronú. It is a daydream, and it's a third dream that you felt, that the life will be without challenges. It comes in different forms. Delay in promotion is a challenge. A delay in marriage, a delay in having children. All those are challenges. And then it's only business. The business in your but all of Magbolade, and just like Yoruba will say, Allah doubled the favor. So we should all know and be prepared that whenever it comes, all we need to do is how do we overcome it? Take the ownership of your problem. Yes, it has come. It has come. Take the ownership of the problem. Try to be the problem solver. How can I solve the problems today? Can you support? Seek support. Be prayerful. Be patient. Get closer to Allah, and Allah will make the life good for you. But what is most important is not the life in this dunya. Let's think of how do we meet with our God? What is the year after hold for us? And with all the challenges, it can please you to get better place in Al-Jannah. May Allah make our ending good and make Al-Jannah our final approach. Amen. Thank you so much.
Àmín. Jazakumullahu khairan màmá wa. Ọlọ́run máa jẹ́ a rí yín pẹ́. Pẹ̀lú solution yìí lẹ́wọ̀n parí ẹ̀ yìí ó jẹ́ kọ́kàn wa balẹ̀ wípé a life with trial ó keep faith wa life ni. Gẹ́gẹ́ bọ́lá ti sọ wípé am asibutun antedi ulil jannata wala ma yafikum masalul nam.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí kò fi one or two things kò fi ṣàtìlẹ́yìn torí pé mo fẹ́ gbógo Ọlọ́run. Mo dúpẹ́ lórí life Alájà fún ìgbàgbọ́ wọn àti mọ́nì wọn. Níwọ̀n bá tàn kan tán sọ ṣókí yẹn torí tí bá ti ń rí Alájà pẹ̀lú ìgbàgbọ́ wọn. Ẹ̀sìn mo tún máa ń bẹ Ọlọ́run pé kémi náà lè sin Ọlọ́run. Torí ẹni tí ó bá rí àdánwò tí bọ́ ṣe ṣàlàyé a ní pé o lè ṣe báyìí fún mi a fẹ́ fà sẹ́yìn ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fàlàjà àbáwọn dúpẹ́ wọ́n á fi torí tí nǹkan bá ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí náà la máa fi máa kọ́ra wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọ́n ti almost 22 years ẹ̀gbọ́n mi náà ṣaláìsí èmi ni máa ń sunkún máma bára jẹ́ bàdájà ṣe sọ máma bára jẹ́ mami wá sọ wípé nígbà tí wọ́n bá ń bára jẹ́ kí ni káwọn ò ṣe. So I am grateful Almighty Allah for the strength and courage you have, Alaja. Allah will continue to strengthen you, protect you, elevate you. And you're the joys of Islam in every adoration I say it. As you know, and I've always looked up on the way you embrace Islam with your strong faith. Allah will continue to strengthen you, guide you, and direct you. Ọlọ́run ò ní yọ ẹsẹ̀ inú Islam. Ọlọ́run ò ní oníṣẹ́rù báyìí. Àwọn tó kù náà máa daṣọ òkú yín lára. Ọlá yìí pé Ọlọ́run Ọlọ́run àtúbọ̀ máa jẹ́ fún yín. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah ká tó lọ sí nítorí pé a ṣàdúrà fẹ́yìn ìyá olóríire tí ẹ wà ń bí. àti gbogbo àwọn ìyá olóríire tí wọ́n wà lórí platform àti gbogbo àwọn ìyá olóríire tí wọ́n máa wò wá àti gbogbo àwọn bàbá olóríire náà pátápátá ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run sọ kankan fún gbogbo wa Ọlọ́run ní bá a'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim Ọlọ́run ní am asibtu an tadkhulul jannata falama ya'tikum mathalul ladhina khalaw min qablikum mathalul ba'sa'i wad-dara'i was-zulzilu Ọlọ́run wá ní hatta yaqula rasulu wal ladhina amanu ma'ahum man nasrullah ala inna nasrullahi qarib Ọlọ́run ní am asibtu an tadkhulul jannata ó ní ṣé rò pé òun kàn fi yín lẹ̀ kàn wà àlùjánnà lásán ni do you expect to enter paradise before that there won't be affliction there won't be challenges of life Ọlọ́run ní kò ní rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o torí pé kí ni gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn ṣe dáwọn tó wà níwájú yín tí wọ́n síwájú yín àwọn dáwọn wò àwọn mì wọ́n wá zolizilu àwọn mì wọ́n gan wọ́n mì àwọn tó wà níwájú Ọlọ́run ní àwọn mì wọ́n rí challenges of life Islam táwa gbé dání táwa ń pé Islam dùn táwa ń ṣe nìsín tá ń ṣe sìn àìmọye àwọn tó jẹ́ pé kí ni lójú wọn ṣe pàyàwó wọn lójú wọn náà ṣe pọmọ wọn lójú wọn náà ṣe ṣe tí wọn dá sí wọn Ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wọ́n fi bí pànábì wọ́n náà lè bí kò ń lé wọ́n ṣe oríṣiríṣi sànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam Ànábì ò máa torí ẹ̀ relent gẹ́gẹ́ bí tọ́lá Ànábì sọ pé mata nasrullah Ọlọ́run igbó làránṣẹ́ ẹgán fẹ́ dé igbó làránṣẹ́ yìí fẹ́ dé bó sọ pé àránṣẹ́ wà ń bí kan wà láì pọ̀ Ọlọ́run ní Allah inna nasrullahi qarib àránṣẹ́ tó ń béèrè ó mà ti dé wa báyìí gẹ́gẹ́ báwọn ìyàwó àti sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un gbogbo nǹkan tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa àfi ká dá padà sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run o ká dá padà sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run o ìyàwó àti sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan wọ́n ní àní jẹ́nu mùsùlùmí ká sọ pé Ọlọ́run ò ní dán wa wò rárá o ọ̀rọ̀ wa dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tó ní malaria tó ní wọ́n fún lábẹ́rẹ́ chloroquine tó wọ́n fẹ́ fún wọ́n fa abẹ́rẹ́ gun níbi tí ẹ̀kan fi gun abẹ́rẹ́ gan fúnra rẹ̀ gan ń dùn yàn nígbà tó bá dùn yàn tó bá gba chloroquine tán nínú kó yún lára nígbà tó bá yún lára tán wọ́n á ní kó sà máa fọwọ́ pa yóò máa fọwọ́ pa náà ni nígbà tó bá yún lára tán gan ara ẹ̀ á tún ṣe kí ni àìṣẹ̀ wá yá tí wọ́n pè ní gbàgbọ́ nìyẹn faith without challenges is nothing a gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ lára àbí ká rí pé clay pot bó ṣe rí yẹn náà abáṣọ tá ń wọ̀ bó ṣe rí yẹn náà àwa la fẹ́ wọ̀ sọ́run o pass through alcohol pass through ibi tí laundry náà tó bá kó bí a tún dry ẹ̀ tá bá tún wá dry ẹ̀ ní gbóná tó tún gbóná gan tán náà a tún wá fáyọ̀ lọ tó bá fáyọ̀ lọ àìsàn wá wò ẹ wo challenges tá a sọ pass through bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn náà pass through challenges of life Ọlọ́run wá ní ẹ fún àwọn onísùúrù ẹ fún wọn ní òdùnnú eré la fi ṣàdúà fún ìyá wa Arógundádé torí pé wallahi she's a mother túmọ̀ billahi she's a mother ìyá tá a ti mọ̀ wọ́n lájọ tó ti pẹ́ ọ̀tọ̀ ni ìyá tó bíyàn gbà mí gan kò ń ṣe tó ìyá àfẹnubí mi máa ń wà tí ó máa tọ́yìn sọ́nà pé ṣe sùúrù ó sàmọ́ oríṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe sùúrù ó ṣe sùúrù lórí ilé ṣe sùúrù ìyá ló máa ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ fún èmi personally ìyá ṣe sùúrù má wọrí ìgbé ó yanjú yóò látòṣe yóò ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ wallahi she's a mother tí gbogbo ayé bá ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ níwájú wọn gbogbo ayé bá ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn wọn náà wọ́n tún sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn wọn tí bẹ́ẹ̀ ti gbọ́ ẹ máa gbọ́ ìyàwó Arógundádé wọ́n fi sùúrù gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n wá fi tútù síyàn lọ́kàn wallahi báyé bá ń jáyé báyé ò bá jáyé mọ́ ìyàwó ọlọ́mọdé mọ̀ nira mọ́ o ẹ ní mọ̀ọ́sì mọ́ o ẹ ní rúkú ọmọ mọ́ o Ọlọ́run gbogbo àwọn tó kù Ọlọ́run bá fún wọn ní àlùbáríkà tó pọ̀ Ọlọ́run bá ṣe fún wọn Ọlọ́run ẹ̀yin náà lómi ara yín lẹ́jẹ̀ ara yín aláfíà tó nara já tí tálùbá ò ní wọ̀ tí wàhálà ò ní wọ̀ Ọlọ́run bá ṣe fún yín Ọlọ́run tó bá gbé kan tó kù náà lẹ́tún ṣe náà ni ní mọ́gbàtà sọmọ́rọ̀ bí àfà ó sì wá sódé jáde asọmọ́rọ̀ ni a kàn sọmọ́rọ̀ ni a kàn fi wí ọ̀rọ̀ náà ni ṣùgbọ́n dáadáa tẹ́ wá ń ṣe náà làwọn náà wá ń sọ yìí ẹ̀ ń ṣe síran wa alaniyatan ẹ̀ ń ṣe ní kọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ tún ṣe ní gbangba Ọlọ́run má bà yín láwọ̀ jẹ́ Ọlọ́run má bà yín níwà jẹ́ Ọlọ́run má bà yín níṣe jẹ́ gbogbo nǹkan tí yẹn ó rí tí wọ́n sọ pé ìyá Arógundádé ìyá alásàlátù mà ni wọ́n mà ti di nǹkan míì wọ́n mà tún ṣe nǹkan míì Ọlọ́run má gbé bẹ́ẹ̀ báyìí láàánú Ọlọ́run ẹni wa tí wọ́n wá lọ náà wọ́n lọ sí sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ni àkúmọ̀gbàtà kọ àmọ̀gbàtà dá ìgbà tó ń ká kú bá dé bus stop ní ó lọ àwáyé kú sí kullu nafsin sa'iqatul maut gbogbo ẹ̀mí pátápátá ni ó padà wá tọ́ ikú iná wò gbogbo àná láàrin níbi tá ti mú lọ́lọ́run sọ wípé ẹjẹ́ á máa múra lẹ̀ dínkù ẹjẹ́ á gbégbé àárọ̀ bí ẹni tí ò ní dọ̀sán ẹjẹ́ á gbé tọ̀sán bí ẹni tí ò ní dalẹ́ ẹjẹ́ á gbé talẹ́ tí ẹni tí ò ní dijọ́ kejì nítorí pé kí ni challenges of life ló ń tẹ̀lé wa káàkiri àmọ́ bí tí ó ti mú wa mọ́lẹ̀ ọlọ́run wa sọ wípé tẹ bá fẹ́ free nínú challenges of life pátápátá ó ní alladhina tatma'innul qulubu bi dhikrillah Allah bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub ó ní ibi tá ti ní fọkànbalẹ̀ ibi tá ti láyọ̀ ọkàn ibi tá ti lóríire ní pé kí ni ẹjẹ́ á wà lọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́run ká máa rántí ọlọ́run ní gbogbo ìgbà tí challenges ọlọ́run bá dé ẹjẹ́ á dá padà sọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́run síbó náà ló dá wa a ò kú ojú wa náà a níkàpá lórí ẹ̀ ọwọ́ wa náà níkàpá lórí ẹ̀ ẹ̀mí wa tá a rò pé a ní ẹ̀mí gangan tá a rí bọ́ọ̀lù àti fẹ́ value ẹ̀ lágbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣe pé kí ni a gbọ́dọ̀ máa dá padà sọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́run ẹni wa tó wá lọ yìí náà a ṣàdúrà fún wọn iwájú tó dojúkọ ọlọ́run yóò dá o tó dojúkọ ọlọ́run yóò dá ẹ̀yìn táwọn náà filẹ̀ torí ẹni tó bá ti kú ó ti fi kú sàgbà èyí táwọn náà filẹ̀ ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ó bàjẹ́ ọláwùgbọ́ ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ká wá rí àtẹ̀yìn kú mọ́ ọláwùgbọ́ ọlọ́run bismillahir rahmanir rahim bismillahir rahmanir rahim Allahu la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum la ta'khusuhu sinatun wala nawm lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard man zal ladhi yashfa'u indahu illa bi'iznihi ya'lamu ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum ولا يأتون بشيء من علم إلا بمن شاء وسع كرسي السماوات والأرض ولا يؤود حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربي من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد التحيات لله الزاكيات لله الطيبات صلوات لله السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين àwa ṣe làkọ́díjà kún kan tí ò ní ní bísímìlá inú pẹ̀lú láfi kan fún ìyá wa Arógundádé ìyá wa Nàfíìsà Abíọ́lá Arógundádé a ṣe làkọ́díjà kún kan fún wọn ẹ̀mí gígùn tí ń sànyà ẹ̀mí gígùn tí ò ní bó ṣe tán ẹ̀mí gígùn bí ò ní báyà tán Ọlọ́run bá ṣe fún yín 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 Ọlọ́run bá gbàdúrà yín Ọlọ́run bá ṣe fún yín Ọlọ́run bá ṣe fún yín má jẹ́ màyà Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ mùṣì Ọlọ́run kú Ọlọ́run tí wọ́n bá ń fún ọ ní mẹ́ta tọ́rọ́ Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ mọ́ Ọlọ́run kú Ọlọ́run laqad ja'akum rasulun min anfusikum azizun alayhi ma anittum ahrizun alaykum bil mu'minina ra'ufur rahim fa in tawallaw faqul hasbiyallah la ilaha illa huwa alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil azim bismillahir rahmanir rahim ila fi quraish ila fi imlalati shita'i wa sayf فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمه من جوع وحمله من خوف ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Bákan náà a kí yàrá savage náà àmọ́ kí yàrá gbogbo bàtà bá ti pè é sórí ètò yìí personally inú yín máa ń dùn ní personally bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa sọ̀rọ̀ gan pẹ̀lú dídùn pẹ̀lú ayọ̀ ẹ sì wá máa sọ máa gain látara yín ẹ wá máa bá bàyàn ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn náà Ọlọ́run tó wá dá yín lẹ̀ dáadáa báyìí Ọlọ́run má bà yín jẹ́ o ya Bilkis Ọlọ́run má bà yín jẹ́ Ọlọ́run má bà yín jẹ́ wọ́n láì pé Bilkis tàná Ọlọ́run fún lọ́lá Ọlọ́run fún lówó Ọlọ́run fún léèyàn Ọlọ́run fún ní gbogbo ẹ̀ ya Bilkis yìí náà Ọlọ́run wò ó ti ṣe yín lólówó Ọlọ́run má ṣe yín lólóṣì mọ́ má ṣe yín lólóṣì mọ́ gbogbo ọmọ tí ó jáde lára yín Ọlọ́run ṣe wọ́n léèyàn Ọlọ́run jọ jù yín lọ Ọlọ́run jọ jù yín lọ Ọlọ́run ṣe wọ́n lólówó ṣe wọ́n léèyàn Ọlọ́run bàbá ẹ sọ́lẹ̀ kan ẹni ẹ ti wà ní UK for the past 50 years ẹ wá ń rí nǹkan náwó sí ẹ wá ń ro orin náwó sí Islam náà wá bàjẹ́ látọwọ́ yín Islam náà tún wá ń wúyàn sí látọwọ́ yín ni Ọlọ́run wò kọ́lọ́run àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ́ fi ń kọ́ wa yìí náà Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ṣubú dànù Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ṣubú kàkẹ́yìn ilé Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ lu àkísà kẹ́yìn aṣọ Ọlọ́run wò má jẹ́ igi egungun yẹn ẹran láwọn àdúrà yìí àdúrà táwọn bàbá máa ń ṣe nígbà yẹn láti kírun tán ni wọ́n Ọlọ́run bá pa bídíà ṣe tá a ní rẹ́ Ọlọ́run bá paná adébọrẹ́ Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ àṣùwò kísà kẹ́yìn aṣọ Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ àjẹ egungun yẹn ẹran Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ orí bẹ́ẹ̀ fún yín Ọlọ́run tata mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta Ọlọ́run má jò bá yín kẹta kó kẹtó ta mọ́tò Ọlọ́run má gbé bá yín o Ọlọ́run jẹ́ máa ra lé ni Ọlọ́run jẹ́ máa ra mọ́tò ẹlẹ́jẹ̀ máa ra gbogbo nǹkan ní tó dáa Ọlọ́run àlàáfíà ara Ọlọ́run á bá fi fún yín o àtẹ̀yìn àtọkọ gbogbo tó ń jẹ́ràn àlàáfíà Ọlọ́run má jò kún lé yín o ọlọ́run ọlọ́lá hawla wala quwwata illa billah bákan náà kíyàwó Rashida Akéwùṣọlá ìyàwó Rashida Akéwùṣọlá abẹ́rẹ́ látòrí ọkọ wọn nítorí wọ́n ṣe birthday ní ìjẹta ni wọ́n ṣe happy birthday to our father torí pé à ń dá Rashida láàmú nígbà gbogbo á pè wọ́n àṣẹ báyìí á ràn wọ́n ṣẹ́ wọ́n á ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ara ò sì ní bàbá yẹn rí Ọlọ́run má fara ní bàbá wa o Ọlọ́run má fara ní bàbá wa tí wọ́n jókòó yín Ọlọ́run má fara ní wọn láíláí Ọlọ́run the man will always smile every time Ọlọ́run má bá dúró tì wọ́n Ọlọ́run bá bàbá yẹn gentle gan fẹ́ gentle ju ya wa yìí lọ bàbá yẹn gentle ju ya yìí lọ Ọlọ́run bá dúró tì bàbá wa yìí náà Ọlọ́run bá gbàdúrà wọn Ọlọ́run bá dúró tì wọ́n gbogbo tó wá jáde lára lọ́mọ nínú àwọn ọmọ yín Ọlọ́run má fi kan ṣerú ẹnìkan nù wọn Ọlọ́run wá dá yín náà dáadáa wàláhì Ọlọ́run dá yín dáadáa ọkùnrin bí obìnrin bí ọkùnrin ni yín Ọlọ́run tọlọ́rí tiwa púpọ̀ ẹgbà wa púpọ̀ gbogbo ohun tí ẹ fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé kẹ́ relocate wá Amẹ́ríkà ni àyè dẹ̀ ti wà ẹ bá fẹ́ relocate ọba ṣe dáadáa fún Ọlọ́run bá gbàdúrà yín Ọlọ́run ṣe yín láyé mọ̀ yín mọ̀ Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ kó báyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ má jẹ́ kí yẹn kó bẹ́yìn náà Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n ló fún yàn Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ohun tí wọ́n ṣe pé nọ́ọ̀sì láyé ìgbé bó ṣe máa rí ni ẹ̀yin máa excel ni Ọlọ́run bá ṣe la hawla wala quwwata illa billah ń ṣe àmì náà Ọlọ́run bá gbàdúrà yín náà ọmọ ní mọ yín lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run oore ńlá ẹ̀yin náà máa rí Ọlọ́run bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe fẹ́ Ọlọ́run ní fi ẹlòmíì Ọlọ́run fi rọ́pò yín lé ọkọ yín Ọlọ́run pé yín bàbá wa náà àṣàdúrà fún yín Ọlọ́run bá gbàdúrà yín la hawla wala quwwata illa billah ká tó ṣe Rabbana inshallah níjọ́ Sunday inshallah Sunday yìí inshallah òun ni a fẹ́ celebrate the July 4th the Independence Day
bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣáà ni
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni the Independence Day of America inshallah ó fọ́ọ̀lù sí ìjọ́ Sunday lápẹ́ àwọn scholars wa inshallah pé what does July 4th Independence Day means to Muslims in America kí ló mean fún wa kí la fẹ́ káwọn bá gbójú wò káwọn máa bá rí al-Imam Amir Muhammad inshallah brother Amir Muhammad inshallah brother Amir Muhammad yìí àwọn ògbóná gbòǹgbò nínú àwọn àfáà inshallah ta ní American bí ni inshallah brother Amir Muhammad àwọn ni the American Islamic Heritage Museum inshallah in America is coming to come and give us a talk about Muslims in America. What does independent mean to us? Also, we'll be meeting our brother Wariz Abdul Majid, YAY Incorporation, inshallah. Emma meet and when those are the people that work directly with the government. Those are the people that knows inside out about Muslims in America. I want to fẹ́ wá ṣàlàyé fún wa kí ni ipa tiwa gan tá jẹ́ Mùsùlùmí l'American bí. Inshallah, it's going to be educative, it's going to be interesting, it's going to be anything tẹ́ bá lè pè equality, ó máa wà ńbẹ̀, ó máa wà fascinating, ó máa wà knowledgeable. Gbogbo ala fẹ́ ká wá pàdé orí platform yìí jọ Sunday, inshallah, to celebrate the Independence Day of America, July 4th, inshallah, kọ́lọ̀mbà pẹ̀lú wa. Lálẹ́ ní a máa ní tahajjud, inshallah, tahajjud bá lálẹ́ ní inshallah. 11:30 Eastern Time lábẹ̀rẹ̀ tahajjud wa Central Time inshallah a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Eastern Time 12:30 inshallah 12:30 Eastern Time Central Time 11:30 inshallah Pacific Time yóò máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 9:30 ní Nàìjíríà láti sun ayọ̀ láfíríkà àti sun ayọ̀ àti jí dáadáa àti jí dáadáa ìjà kásíkàlù wa ẹ wá darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní 5:30 láàárọ̀ inshallah kábíyèsí wa pè Ọlọ́run àdúrà tá a fẹ́ ṣe yìí àdúrà independence ni torí ìgbà kan àwọn kan ló gba independence America àwọn kan ní the first president America àwọn kan ní wọ́n ti lu America wọ́n rí America lò wọ́n ráyé ṣe ń bẹ̀ wọ́n lo Canada wọ́n ráyé ṣe ń bẹ̀ àwọn kan lo Nàìjíríà náà wọ́n ráyé ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ àwa náà gbọ́dọ̀ rí tiwa ṣe oore pé Ọlọ́run fi tèmi lé mi lọ́wọ́ òun náà la fẹ́ gbà lálẹ́ Ọlọ́run jọ Ọlọ́run fi tèmi lé mi lọ́wọ́ kọ́lọ́run fi tiyín náà lé yín lọ́wọ́ eléyìí tọ́lọ́run ti fi lé wa lọ́wọ́ kọ́lọ́run má jẹ́ òkú ń bẹ̀ ولا لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم ربنا يا ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Aṣàdúrà fún gbogbo àwọn crew wa, aṣàdúrà fún gbogbo àwọn alágbẹ̀tẹ̀rù wa tí wọ́n ń ṣe wàhálà lórí gbogbo program wa yìí lójoojúmọ́. Ọlọ́run mọ̀ yín o, Ọlọ́run mọ̀ yín o, Ọlọ́run mọ̀ yín o. Àṣírí qawlakum aw ijharu bihi innahu alimun bisati sudur. Bá wí jẹ́jẹ́, bá pariwo yín sókè, Ọlọ́run ti mọ̀ yín, Ọlọ́run ti mọ̀ yín. Àníyàn wa dáadáa tá ń ṣe yẹn náà k'Ọlọ́run máa fi gbé wa sókè, k'Ọlọ́run ṣàánú wa. Ọlọ́run gbọ́. Aṣàdúrà fún àwọn Arabic class wa, inshallah àwọn Arabic class wa, aṣàdúrà fún wọn. Ọlọ́run bá dúró tì yín, Ọlọ́run bá dúró tì yín, Ọlọ́run bá dúró tì yín, Ọlọ́run bá gbà, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ṣàṣeyọrí. Ọlọ́run gbọ́. Gbogbo tá a fẹ́ dáwọ́lé, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ṣàṣeyọrí bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ọlọ́run má jà kú sọ̀rọ̀ bí èéfín. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم أنت الكل ومنك الكل وإليك الكل وذاك الكل وكل برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. يا رب إسا تقدر يكون إن شاء الله في أي إنه يوم علينا ولا وقول يا عبد السابق أمارين با ولا وقول ولا أو على رشيد أكيوشلا إلى الأمام إن شاء الله ورفعناه مكان عليا
Ọlọ́run nígbẹ̀yìn náà lọ́wọ́ wa o. Ọlọ́run nígbẹ̀yìn náà lọ́wọ́ wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe àlàáfíà, owó, gbogbo nǹkan tó lọ ṣe fún yín kò ní fi kan gbà kan lọ́wọ́ yín, kò ní fowó gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ yín, kò ní fowó gbà láàfíà. Ìmọ̀ ni yóò dẹ̀ ní kúrú. Bá ṣe rí tínú wa ń dùn, bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe special program, lẹ́yìn ṣe special program lórí kéwú. Ọlọ́run aláàánú á máa bá yín wájú náà. Ẹ ṣe à ń gbádùn yín. Ọlọ́run tó fi yín ṣe lórí kò ní sọ yín dìrò. Islam, ògo Islam yín, ògo yẹn náà kọ́ lóòdẹ̀ nípa náà. Ọlá iná àti iná. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Iná àti iná kálíkà òsára. Ẹ̀sọ́ lè rọ̀bíkà wálíhà iná ṣáàlìyà. Ẹ ṣe gbọ́dọ̀.
ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله.